Hi. Hi. Happy Saturday. There's 8 of you already, although nothing's happening here. Why is nothing happening there? Oh no, it's happening. It's happening. Hello. It's happening. Oh, I thought I'd made that quiet. Happy Saturday. Say hi if you're here. I've come in a little bit earlier because sometimes technical difficulties. Hello, Michael. Hello, Mama G's Kitchen. Mama G's Kitchen. Yeah, sometimes technical difficulties make things a bit mad, so I thought I'd come in earlier. Diane, hi. Emma Clark, hello. Sheetal, hi. It's nice to see you all. Nice to see you all on a Saturday. Tracy B, hi. Tracy. Jamie, hi. Dinah Cecilia, hello. Catherine, Taylor T, Violet, hi from Ohio. Oh, hi. Oh. Is that joke made often in Ohio? If not, you should, because it's a good joke. Sigrid, hi. Michelle, hi. Nice. A nice amount of you. Now, before we get started, look at my little tiny dinosaur eyes. Well, actually, they're big, tiny dinosaur eyes. Big, tiny. This eye's been so swollen for a few days now. Hi, Jay. It's been so swollen, and now the skin that was swollen has now gone a bit sort of flaky. Yeah, it's gone flaky, and I just want to rub them all the time. Now, I've taken antihistamine. I don't think it's anything to do with pollen. I don't know what it is. Boring, isn't it? But yeah, that's why I've got tiny little dinosaur eyes and really wrinkly and like sore. So I've got no. I did put makeup on this morning. I can't even tell you. That feels like crack. That is so nice. Right, don't get too into that because you'll never stop. Hi, Lauren. Lauren says hi, Lauren. Tom reads things. Tom, I'm answering your question. I put on Instagram. Oh God, I really have rubbed that eye into sort of like crustiness. Thank you guys. I put on Instagram if you guys wanted to ask me some questions. Because I tend to do these so every time I hit a subscriber count, I do a live show. So whenever I hit 1,000 mark, hi Cheryl, hi Victoria, whenever I hit a subscriber mark, I go and do a live show. So on Instagram, I do a live show every 1,000, and on YouTube I also do. Now, the last time I did one of these was at the very beginning of lockdown. It was the week I got back. Oh, look at Minnie asleep on the sofa. So cute. The week I got back from lockdown. The week lockdown started, and it was the week after I got back from Centre Park. So we're looking at mid-March. So I got to 13,000 subscribers in mid-March, which means that I've gone up 1,000 in March, April, May, June, July, August. 5 months. That's pretty good. I remember the sort of plateau between 12 and 13. I think that was a really long time. So thank you everybody who subscribes. Would be very interested now if you just, I think I did this last time as well, but just type and let me know how long you've been here for. Have you been here since the beginning? Did you join in the first flat? Were you here for the second flat? This is the 3rd location we've been. Are you relatively new? How you found me, if you remember how you found me. I'm always very interested to hear that. So yeah, let me know how long you've been here for and how you found me. And then we'll move on to the questions a bit later. So I've got some bookish questions, which I'll start with, and then I've got some like random questions as well. So I'll answer those towards the end. Right, so here we go. It's coming in. I've got the laptops here, so if I'm looking down, it's because I'm looking at this. So about a month ago, says John, Cheryl's been here since the 2nd flat, 2 years. Catherine's watched since the beginning, Mickey Mouse wallpaper days. Emma said, I missed the Disney wallpaper, but not long after that. Since the last flat, hi, congrats on 14k, well deserved. I remember the Mickey wallpaper. I've been here since the start of lockdown, Cosy Reading Nights. I found you via Savage Reads, lovely. You came up on my YouTube channel since the 2nd flat. Diana says she's been here from... yeah, nice. So some of you have come quite recently then for the old, since the old lockdown as well. Yeah, that was lovely to do, wasn't it? The old cozy reading nights all the way through lockdown. It really gave me something to look forward to. Like every other week, I was really, really looking forward to it. Right, a few more. Your channel came up when I was looking for bookish videos. I've been here a few months. Hello, Gemstone. Welcome. I've been here since Mickey Mouse wallpaper, cozy reading nights. Well done. That's amazing. You deserve way more subscribers than you have. Thank you, Mama G Kitchen. You lovely person. Watched since your flat before the one you're in now. You popped up on recommended vids. Always blows my mind when you pop up, like if someone pops up on recommended vids. Like, imagine. It's so exciting. I've been subscribed since 2017, says Chrissy. I found you through Life Between Words channel. She suggested your cozy reading nights. That's lovely that people join in and suggest them. I feel very excited about that. Who is planning on joining in for Summer Cozy Reading Night on Saturday the 29th? I announced it in a lovely chat video, so you might not have seen it. But I was also on a book break video as well, and I talked about it then as well. Cheryl says, I love Cozy Reading Night, especially the winter ones. Yeah, they're my favourite ones as well. Autumn was the original Cozy Reading Night. That's when we did the first ever one, and that was in the second flat with the big glass windows. Yeah, that's what and I think that's probably why Autumn one remains my favourite because, well, first of all, I love Autumn, but also because it was the first ever cozy reading night. But I do love a Christmas cozy reading night, and I quite often, particularly in the summer, rewatch the Christmas cozy reading night vlogs because there's like trees in them, like other people's vlogs as well, not just my ones, because there's like Christmas trees and coziness and Christmassy snacks, and that's the best part, I think. Drinking by myself. Hi, Emma's here. She says thanks for doing that book break vid. You're welcome. Taylor said you come up on my recommended, been here since second flat. Are you looking forward to autumn? I am so looking forward to autumn. I bought myself a pair of boots on Depop the other day, little ankle boots with glittery stars stuck on them. Not stuck on them, like, well, they are, I guess. They're on the boots. And I was thinking, God, I can't wait for autumn to wear this. Although I saw a girl today wearing like a dress with little black ankle boots. I thought, maybe I'll wear that. But yeah, mainly I'm excited. Well, I'm excited because this weather can then just do one. Although actually it has cooled down a lot the last few days. Well, no, today really. But yeah, very excited about autumn. I found you a year or so ago through Simon. Jenny loves books. Lovely. Brandy said, I always suggest you in my online book club. You're so sweet, Brandy, thank you. I think I discovered your channel through Simon's channel. Tracy's saying, oh, and here is Simon. I cannot wait for autumn. Savage Reads says, congrats on 14k, you utter babe. And Cheryl says, raining in Norfolk today. David, you got a top on? No. Do you want to put a top on and come and say hello? I want to come and say hello. Do you remember last time you come and say hello and then you stayed for the whole thing? Yeah, well, I can't do that, can I? I've got to make dinner. He's got to make dinner in a bit. He's on dinner making duty. It's raining in Norfolk today. It absolutely pelted it down earlier, like unbelievably so. It was difficult to drive in, difficult. Have you got a storm recently and it's now bit, hope you got a storm recently and it's now a bit cooler. Hello, Sean. Looking forward to the next cozy reading night. Here he comes, top on. Look at this lovely top he's got on as well.
It's my pyjama top.
How are you, David?
I'm alright.
We're just talking about how people found me and how they've been around, how long they've been around and things like that. Taylor says, are you looking forward to the second series of His Dark Materials? Lin-Manuel Miranda and Andrew Scott. No, I'm not really that bothered. I am so excited. I watched that trailer a lot. Simon is laughing. He's also chanting top off, top off, top off. I think that might be for you, David. Tom Reed things says, I found you through the lovely Simon's channel. The first video I watched was a lovely Vlogmas video. How many days until Christmas? I don't know how many days, but there is only 20 weeks till Christmas because I have had to work out the Christmas schedule. And I was like, oh God, it's 20 weeks away. So yeah, 20 weeks till Christmas. That's not long.
I've just woken up.
Do you? You look like it or you feel like it?
I look like I've just woken up.
David and I are going to put our Christmas tree up first week of November this year. Aren't we?
We are.
We've already decided. Because we always miss it so much when it's gone that when, like, I always think I wish I had it up longer. And I don't want to leave it up longer because it's a bit depressing after Christmas, isn't it, to have it up?
Yeah, I don't like.
So, yeah.
We're
going to put it up first week of November. It's been decided.
Yeah.
Diana says, hi, David. John Saxon says, it's 4:05 here in Australia on a Sunday morning. Please stay safe and hello, David. Say hello, David.
Hello, David.
Miss Libra says, I come across your channel 2 years ago, I think. Love your cozy reading night. Greetings from Spain. Hello to Spain. So, yeah. Have you got anything you want to say, David, before I'm going to crack on with the questions?
Congratulations on reaching 14k.
Oh, thank you. It's so nice, isn't it? 14,000 people watch this old stuff.
I know.
It's very, very exciting to have you all here.
Here for me.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I
And
would.
for her,
Yeah, I know. She's so cute there, isn't she?
She is.
Little dot of a cat. Right, what are you up to in the
I'm going to
in
go
the
watch
bedroom?
some Disney vlogs.
All David does is watch Disney vlogs. It's honestly, it's all one of the things he does. Steve said, Joel says that's early to put up my Christmas tree, but I'll get the most out of it. Steve says, been watching you for a few years. I was sold after hearing your hello. Thank you. John says, you're not old. Gagging for Lit said, I left my Christmas decks up until February last year. They were beautiful. Patty Cake says, you always cheer me up when I watch you. Thank you. Oh, we're at 100 people watching this. 100. Hello, 100. 101 now. Right, okay, so as I said, I've got a selection of questions. I ask people for questions on Instagram stories, which is mainly where I sort of collate things like this if I ever do Q&As or suggestion things. So if you don't follow me on Instagram, please do head on over there. I'm at Lauren and the Books. And I've separated them into bookish questions. So the first bit will be bookish questions, and then sort of more random things at the end. But yeah, I mean, chip in. These questions are just as much for you guys as they are from me. I'll enjoy answering them, and then we'll enjoy discussing them. I'll just check in with the comments once more. I love your videos, Lauren, says Sincerely Jean. Stop it. Do you love doing this, Lauren? It looks like you really enjoy BookTube. That is a question coming up. I will answer that in a minute. John has left his Christmas lights up. Are you going to continue your alphabet series? Yeah, I absolutely will continue my alphabet series. I need to get around. I need to have a good old sort out. I've been a bit of a funk. I think lockdown's made everyone in a funk, hasn't it? But yeah, I've had a bit of a creative funk, but I need to have a little sort out and things like that. So yeah, I'm gonna and Gagging for Lit says live Q&A is such a lush idea, and I love the word lush. So yeah, we'll do bookish questions, random questions, and then if there's any more questions that you guys want to ask me, please do. We're probably gonna be about an hour, maybe slightly longer. David's gonna start making dinner. When are you gonna make dinner? About an hour. How long does it take, dinner? Oh, we've got Mediterranean veg and whipped feta. I don't know how you're going to whip feta with like flatbreads. We'll maybe start it at about 8 then, David.
How long are you talking for?
Well, until my voice fails, really. I could just go on talking about myself forever.
Even when there's nobody watching?
Even when there's no one watching and everyone's gone to bed.
That takes 20 minutes.
It takes 20 minutes. Yeah, start it at 8 then.
All right.
And I'll start wrapping up at 8, right. That's just sorting out like home admin. Okay. Are you guys going to do a Strictly Pod dancing this year? I lived for that last year. No, we're not gonna do it. Do you know what? Ask questions at the end. I'll go into more details about that at the end. I'll make a note of it. And yeah, I'll ask me questions at the end, and then we'll fit that in. Because otherwise, I'll never get to the questions that have been asked of me. I love that you include cookbooks now and then. I've bought some of them from Book Depository. Great. Congrats. Been watching for a few years. Watching your videos has inspired me. Love reading again. Thank you. Thank you for watching. If all your subscribers went to see Lauren live in concert at Wembley Arena, we wouldn't be able to fit in. 1,500 people would have to stand outside. Tom, that's an amazing statistic. That's so good. I'd come out and say hello. Imagine that. That's so amazing. We're making dinner. We've got posh chili carne from Cook. Oh, nice. Oh, I had a lovely... Look. Got to get to it. But last thing I'll say is at the hospital I work at, Cook, which in the UK is like a ready meal company who provide frozen ready meals. During lockdown, they've been giving us frozen ready meals half price, and they are delicious. I don't ever eat ready meals, but a couple of times when I've just not had a chance to buy anything or make anything, I have made. I've had them from work, and I had macaroni cheese this week, and it was beautiful. And I had a vegetable tagine with chickpeas, and that was also gorgeous. And when I heat up in the microwave, everyone's like, "Whoa, what's that?" I say it's just £2 in the canteen. Better than the actual food you can get in the canteen. Right, let's go to the questions. So, as I said, please feel free to dip in with your own answers about this, because it will be very interesting. I think it'll be nice for some discussion. Yeah, if you've got any questions, then just ask me at the end. I see a few people asking about Minnie and David and me and stuff. Ask at the end, and I'll go into more detail about that. I'm just writing Minnie here and David now, because otherwise I'll never get into the questions. Right, the first question is, has your taste in books changed since joining BookTube? So I'll answer this since I'll answer this, but also interested in you guys, has your taste in books changed since watching BookTube? So So for me, I discovered BookTube through, I was Googling what books should I read next blog, and a page come up from the Book People, which are a company who sells super duper cheap books, and it had like a lot of featured booktubers on there. Two of them I've met in real life and we're good mateys. Sana from Books and Quills, who was the first person that I ever watched, and Jean from Jean's Bookish Thoughts. I watched a few of their videos. I started with Sana. I think it might even have been as simple as like she was at the top of the list, and I watched her videos, and then got onto Jean, because I think Jean was in a few of Sana's videos as well. And after I'd watched it, I was like, David, I could do this. So before I watched BookTube, how I used to find books was I used to read the Richard and Judy Book Club books, which was basically like, they would recommend, Rich and Judy are TV presenters. They've been going since like, I would go as far, definitely the 90s, maybe the 80s, in the UK. They do a book club in conjunction with a bookshop here called W.H. Smith, and it's 6 paperbacks, and they do sort of like seasonal stuff. So I always used to read those 6 books, and if I liked any of those 6 books, I would then go on and read like the back catalogue of that author. So that was basically how I was finding my books, and I was looking at like the library and seeing what new things were coming in. So when I started watching BookTube, I was like, oh my God, I've realised that I and I realised BookTube helped me realise what I like to read. So I found out quite quickly that I'm really into literary fiction, and I'm really into like beautiful description and historical fiction I'm into as well. And I found a sort of like niche of the sort of non-fiction I like feminist non-fiction, travel non-fiction, books set in Scandinavia and things like that. So BookTube has really helped me work out what I like. And I guess the question is, has my taste in books changed since joining BookTube? Yes, it absolutely has, because it's allowed me to realise what I like. And like, when you're hearing people talk about books, which I was never doing before, I was just sort of getting a list of books. Or another way I used to find out books as well is that I would find out what books were being made into films that year, and I was like, oh well, if they're making it into a film, it must be pretty good, and I would get books that way. So yes, it's definitely changed my taste in books. And something else it's done is that it's made me much pickier in what I read, and I very rarely now pick up a book that I don't enjoy. I'm pretty good with that. It sort of trained me and refined that. So yeah, let's see what people are saying. So because of BookTube, my books don't fit on my bookshelves anymore. Since watching BookTube, I'm more open to trying different genres and reading books I would never have known about before. Hi from Cape Town, South Africa. Sincerely Jean said, BookTube has definitely influenced my readings. I found some of my favourite books and authors through BookTube. So yeah, it sounds as though for you guys, even if you don't have a channel and you're just a viewer of BookTube, then it sounds like you've had a similar sort of experience with me. So yeah, it's definitely changed the way I read, and I'm forever thankful for it, because now I know what I like. I read books that I love, and I rarely read things that I don't, at the very least, like. So yeah, and I read loads more. I mean, I used to read loads anyway, but I read loads more now, loads more. Catherine Bishop says she reads every day now, and she says, same, I didn't know how to find books I like prior to BookTube. Yeah, I think it's a really good tool for that. And also, because you'll find that your reading is similar to, you'll find that your reading is similar to booktubers. So I could pretty much pick any of Simon's videos, watch one of Simon's videos, and I know that he would mention at least one book in there that I'm going to really like, because we've got really similar reading taste. So that's really helpful as well, because it's almost like he's doing the hard work for me. So he's there. He's doing the hard work for me. But like that must be the same for you guys as viewers as well, is that you must realise that say you might be watching like Jen's videos and think, and realise that you like magical realism, but you didn't know that that's what it was before, and things like that. So yeah, it's just a lovely space, isn't it? It's just a really lovely space to do. And Paula said, I'm definitely reading more UK authors thanks to Lauren and Simon Savage, who has then written Oh You. Oh gosh, I should have assumed you were watching. I take a lot of recommendations for BookTube. Yeah, absolutely. So yeah. And it's exciting, isn't it? It gets you hyped. I love being hyped about stuff. I'm really into I love hearing recommendations. I love hearing people, I love using things or reading things or watching things that people have said to me, I've really enjoyed this, because then I go to it with such high hopes and optimism and positivity. So yeah, well done. Is it a bit dark in here? I don't want to turn the light on because then people will be staring into me. We'll keep it going. I don't think it's that dark. Next question is, would I ever want to judge a book prize? And I'm interested on what you guys have to say on this as well, because I don't think I would ever want to judge a book prize. I feel like it would be too much, like, what's the word I'm thinking of? Too much pressure or too much, too much for me to like. I'd be so frightened of reading or not getting around to reading something, and that being the best thing, or like I'd be so frightened of it. It just feels like a lot on my shoulders. I'd be really frightened. But like, I mean, I love reading, and I'd also find it really hard not to talk about the books as well. Like Simon's here now, chatting, and I know when he judged the Costas, and I've heard Jen talk about this when she's judged prizes as well, is that you can't talk about the books that you've talked about. That you've read, and I would find that really hard because, like, honestly, about 80% of the stuff I talk about to people in my life and people online and my family and David is like, oh, I've just read this book. So I think I would really struggle with that. But yeah, I feel like it would just be a little bit too much for me maybe. But I mean, never say never. But yeah, and obviously if I got asked, that would be amazing. But like, yeah, I wouldn't sort of go out of my way to be like judging. Yeah, I'd be frightened. It would frighten me more than anything. What about you guys? Would you ever want to judge a book prize, do you think? How would you feel about that? How would the responsibility of that? Responsibility is literally the word I've been looking for since I started talking about this. How would you feel? How would you deal with the responsibility of judging a book prize? Simon kindly has said to me, you would be amazing at the Costas. Thank you very much, Simon. And Grant had says you should judge the women's prize, Lauren. And also, I enjoy it so much. Like the month leading up to the women's prize, it's like akin to how I feel about Christmas. I'm like predicting things, or maybe not Christmas, but like how I feel about when Strictly Come Dancing's coming out, like predicting things. Oh, could this be on there? Oh, I've got that on my shelf. I must read that before the long list has been because I think it's going to be on there. And oh, I wonder if this is on there. Oh, I hope this isn't on the list, and things like that. So yeah, I enjoy the hype of it so much that I wonder if I were to be involved, would I feel the same enjoyment of it? That's always the big fear, isn't it? Naomi said, I worry I wasn't smart enough. And do you know what Naomi? That's as positive as I am about myself. I always have a little worry that I'm not smart enough for stuff. So yeah, that would honestly be there for me as well. At least you wouldn't have the responsibility as it's a panel. I would love to judge a prize. Oh, Linda, I hope you get the opportunity to sometime. Cool, right. I'm getting a bit warm, actually. I'm going to go and open my window and let a bit more air in. And he's still sleeping. Shh, be quiet. I don't know what this is. I think it's lipstick. It's really annoying. And I've just opened that window, and as I pushed it open, there's no air out there at all. No air. We've gone back to being really muggy. Catherine says, I don't think I could judge a prize. Sometimes I fail to read book club books. And Linda says, oh, Minnie sleeping. It's so cute, isn't it? Right, okay. The next question is, have you ever lost your reading mojo? And the answer to that is yes, I absolutely have. And I remember it well. It was summer like 2 or 3 years ago, and I was so into Love Island that year. It was mental. It was the year that Camilla Thurlow was on there, and she was being proper dicked about by Johnny. If you're in the UK, well, I think Love Island is elsewhere as well, but there's a series that is out every summer called Love Island, and it has like a group of really fit people all mingling with each other, shagging each other, eventually getting together, and a couple wins a cash prize. It's been going on for many years. It's not on this year because of coronavirus, which has been lovely because it means it frees up my summer. It's on every night for at least an hour, like every day of the week, between I think it's between like the end of April and mid-June, so it's a long old time. And this particular summer, as I said, I was very attached to one of the girls in there, Camilla. She wasn't your usual type, which actually, coincidentally, I think is her the title of her autobiography she just brought out, called Not the Type. Yeah, she was just being completely mugged off by some bloke in there. I got really into it, really into it. Spent a lot of my time worrying about her. Yeah, and every time I got home from work, I'd just sort of like sit around. It was also really hot, and I had an app on my phone called Cooking Fever, which was like a time management game where you own different restaurants and pizza and making like pizza and doing burger, fast food restaurant, all day breakfast restaurant. And like I would literally sit and play that for hours waiting for Love Island to come on. And I remember that July I read 2 books. And one of them was a tiny little, I think it might have been like one of those silent graphic novels, you know, Sean Tan writes silent graphic novels, which just got pictures. And I read 2 books that month. And 2 books like is a good amount to read if that's how much you read. However, I normally read about 15 books a month, so that's a big reduction. And I couldn't commit to anything. I couldn't get into anything. I'd start loads of books. And I think it's because I was just so into Love Island and this bloody game on my phone. But I did manage to snap out of it. And if I had sort of advice for snapping out of it, it's read what you love, go back to some old favourites, take the pressure off, don't force yourself to read, just have a week off of reading if you need to, make reading fun again. Maybe set yourself some, I'm saying, don't give yourself any pressure and don't make yourself read anything, but maybe set yourself some challenges. Sometimes when I can't be bothered to read something, and I know Mercedes has done something like similar to this, I sort of like take a lot of books off my shelf and read the first line or read the blurb and think, which of these do I think I'm going to really enjoy? There's a tag of it, isn't there, called read the first chapter tag, where you read the first chapter of a book. They're really helpful, I think, for getting you back into reading because you get a taste of what you might be up for. But then again, don't then force yourself to carry on with something like that. And I know I've just seen here, Steve's just said, lockdown killed my mojo. I wanted easier distractions. And yeah, I think that's absolutely, like some people at the beginning of lockdown were really struggling. Like, I mean, what could be better for you than losing yourself in a book, but you're not able to do that? And I know I had a lot on my mind at the beginning of lockdown, and really struggled to sort of like commit to something, and I was finding myself getting bored really easily, or when you're looking at a weekend where you can't leave the house, or like weeks of not being able to leave the house, and just thinking, how am I, like, there's 2 ways of looking at it, isn't there? There's look at it like, think how many books I'm going to get read, but there's also a way of looking at it like, how am I going to fill these great big yawning months with reading? Like, it panics you, doesn't it? So yeah, my advice is chill out, take it easy, read your favourites, maybe set yourself a few challenges, just try and enjoy it. Christina says, I usually reread some of my old favourites when I'm in a reading slump. Absolutely, me too. Mama G's Kitchen said, lockdown really affected my reading. I thought I'd be reading loads, but I just couldn't read. Slowly starting to read more again now. I'm so pleased. Paula says, agreed, found myself rereading when the pandemic hit. Matchins 4 says, audiobooks definitely helped me get back into it. Yeah, audiobooks as well. I've always got an audiobook on the go. But yeah, because I now get my audiobooks from two places. So Audible, which I pay for a monthly subscription for, so I can keep those audiobooks once I bought them. And on there is a list of favourites. Like at the moment, I'm re-listening to the first Nevermore, because the 3rd one is out in October. So I'm going to listen to the first one this month, the 2nd one next month, and then the 3rd one will be out in October. But yeah, so going back and listening to some of those. But I also listen using my Libby app now. So I have to, like, anything I want to read that's got any sort of slight amount of hype around it, there's quite a long waiting list, but it's quite nice to put reservations on those things and then have them come back in. Mama G's Kitchen said, book club really helped in lockdown, as at least I read 1 book each month instead of reading nothing. Mama G's Kitchen is an absolute babe, and she is part of my Patreon book club. So every month for a Patreon book club, we have a discussion via this way. This is how it works, where we talk about the book that we've picked. I pick a genre and pick 2 books. The Patreons vote for it. And then we do a mid-month check-in where I talk about my initial thoughts, and it really is like the first few pages or something, and then we have a big hour chat at the end of every month, and I really look forward to it. And actually throughout lockdown, Mama G there saying that she looked forward to it through lockdown, I really look forward to it as well, because I needed structure and I needed something to look forward to, and I was thinking, it's book club next week, and I get to pick the genre for next month's book club and stuff. So yeah, I really love that book club. It's lovely. If you would like to join, then there's always detail. I'm saying there's always details. There won't be details under this video, but on any of my other videos there'll be Patreon book club details, and it's $5 a month. I'm just sticking another plug in there, but Mama G set me up. So but yeah, Patreon book club, I love it, and it's really nice. It's a really like chill book club space, and I always come out of having like our discussions having loved discussing. Even if I haven't enjoyed the book, I've still loved chatting about it in Patreon book club. So yeah, I really, really love it. I did my best. That's a great name saying. I set a timer for 30 minutes and do that every day until I don't need a timer to keep me reading. That's a brilliant idea. Sincerely Jean says, for me, the series of unfortunate events series gets me back into reading. That's a really, really cute series. Yeah, that's how I feel about Nevermore as well. Cheryl says, just unboxed Silver Sparrow. I was looking at Silver Sparrow today because for my Patreon book club, I'm going to put the mid-month check-in video up on Monday, and I was thinking, do I start it now? But there's a worry that I'll be too far in to be like, these are my initial thoughts. So I started another book, and I'm going to start it on Monday and then film the initial thoughts Monday evening. Sarah says, I love Patreon book club so much. It's the highlight of my month. You're the highlight of my month, thank you. Linda says, I find short stories can help if you can't focus on the length of a novel. Yeah, and I think that's why I feel like that about children's literature as well. Yeah, oh, and Linda's saying she loves Silver Sparrow. So for this month's book club, for August book club, we're reading Silver Sparrow by T.R.E. Jones. Bye, Minnie, where you going? She's gone. Look at her. She's so cute. Right, okay, the next question was advice for people starting booktube. I told you my booktube story, how I came about booktube at the beginning of this video. So that's how I found booktube, and how I started was that David was working at a school then as an IT, in the IT department, and he bought a little, and I said, oh, I've seen these videos and I really think I could do it. And he bought home a little tiny camera, and I just started filming a book, and I think the first film I practiced, I picked 5 blue books off my shelves and just talked about what I thought they were going to be about, or if I'd read them and really enjoyed them. And then the first book tube video that I put up, I called it a June book haul, but it was actually a TBR. I was just showing off books that I'd bought recently or books that I'd got from the library, and what I actually meant was that these were the books I was going to read in June. My advice honestly would be just go for it. Like, you can film on a phone, you can you need like, you don't even need books. You can talk, like, you can, as in, obviously if you want to have a booktube channel you need to talk about books, but you don't need the physical books there. I find it very easy to insert pictures here. I'm saying that now, that's the sort of thing that, like, when I'm going back in to edit it, I can see my hands go like that, and I know I need to insert a picture there. You can insert pictures if you read on your e-reader, things like that. Like I said, I've been using the Libby app a lot since my libraries have been closed. You don't need to buy a lot of books, you can use libraries, you can use apps like that. Yeah, so I would just say, just go for it, because it's yeah, you can sort of sit and fret about it for a long time and almost talk yourself out of it. So I think even if you wanted to, before I started vlogging, I used to practice a little bit with, like, just walking somewhere and be like talking on my camera or whatever, just so I wouldn't feel nervous about it. But yeah, when you're in your own home, you can do that as little or as often as you want. But anything you think is bad isn't bad. Like, you could work yourself up about stuff. Like, it will be fine. Just put it out. Someone has just asked, is the editing process complicated? I use iMovie on my MacBook to edit, which is a free editing software. Now, I struggled with it to start with because I went onto a Mac and I'd always been used to using Windows. Yeah, Windows. I can't remember the name. David? He can't hear me. He's in the other bedroom. I use another Windows system, but yeah. It's not complicated. It is like, I'd never done anything like that before, and David edited my first few videos for me, but once I got the hang of it, I could honestly do it in my sleep now. So like anything, it takes a bit of getting used to, but there's so many tutorials on YouTube on how to do it, yeah, you can even edit on your phone. Like, I know Simon edited on his phone for a long time. I don't know if he still does it. Jean edited on her phone for a long time, but yeah, I know there's a lot of people that do that, and it like anything, it would take a bit of time to get into, but yeah. So I guess my advice for people starting is just to, he still does, he's there and he says he still does. That's Simon still editing on his phone. So yeah, I would say that honestly, my biggest advice would be just to crack on with it. Simon, if you could give budding booktubers one piece of advice, what would that advice be? Sorry to drag you into this, babes, but you're here. And Steve's saying on iPhone. Yeah, I believe it is on his iPhone that he does it. So yeah, if you've got Simon, if you've got one piece of advice for people, just do it and love it. Same sort of thing as me, yeah. And you're quick. I mean, if you love watching it, you're gonna love, like, making videos, because it's lovely just to chat about books in the comments and things like that. And it's so exciting when people say to you, oh, I read that book because you recommended it. and I love people saying that to me anytime. So it's really, really fun to like talk about a book and then someone to read it and say that they really enjoyed it. Are you ever too old to be a booktuber? It seems like a young person's game. I'm not a young person. Well, I'm 34 in November, but there's a whole host of ranges. I think a lot of people, when they go into booktube, and actually, saying that wasn't the experience for me, but a lot of people, I think, Minnie's back, assume it to be a young person's game because there's a lot of YA talked about. Now, I don't really read much YA, so I don't follow many YA booktubers, but like, you'll see that there's all people from all ends of the age spectrum. So yeah, I don't think you could ever be too old. Jennifer says, I teach A-level English literature and language and I've thought about making videos to help students. Videoing yourself is far more scary than being at the front of a classroom though, really. Yeah, you do get used, I mean, I love the sound of my own voice, guys. So it's like, for me, I'm having a lovely time when I'm editing myself. But yeah, I know some people do a bit, ew. I'm a secondary teacher, says Lauren, and she seconds that. And saying poor Baldy Minnie, she's delighted to be Baldy. She's really happy. So yeah, just do it. Tom asked, what is my biggest booktube memory? Which I thought was a lovely, lovely question. Tom reads things. You should all go and subscribe to him now. Tom, say something in the comments so people can go and subscribe to you. But one of my biggest booktube memories is going on the first meetup. So booktubers in the UK, and I believe in the US as well, and other places. We used to do a sort of like twice a year meetup as a big group, and then also meet up sort of like individually in individual groups and things. Hi Tom, thank you. Meet up individually in groups, like you'll know that I've been to stay with Simon a number of times. Him and his husband have been to stay here. Mercedes, Jen, Lauren, Jean, all pals that I've made through booktube. But yeah, so my main booktube memory is that first meetup that I ever did. Sadly we haven't been able to meet up this year because we were due to meet up in April and then it got cancelled because of coronavirus. And yeah, we don't know if it's going to happen this year now. But yeah, that first meetup we did, I remember being on the train and just being so nervous. Like, I'm quite an extroverted introvert, which I feel like is a bit of a thing people say now. But like, I'm very loud and I'm very sort of confident in a crowd, you would think, but inside I'm thinking, oh fuck, they're gonna find me out that I'm a bit of a knob, or just like I'm a bit nervous, and I stumble over my words a lot and things like that when I talk because I just want to say everything all the time. So like I always feel like I can never find the right word for things, and I'll spend a long time trying to think of the right word for something before going on. So like I remember being really nervous about talking to people there, but it was just such a lovely day and everyone was so lovely, and it was so nice to finally meet some faces that I've been watching for a really long time. And I just remember sort of going around to the bookshops and buying stuff and just getting a chance to chat with everyone as well, because it was a really nice time, because you do a lot of walking on those days. So you walk to various bookshops, and like you could be walking with one person on one walk to a bookshop and another person, and you're chatting with somebody else in this bookshop saying, oh, I'm buying this, what are you buying? And like it was just a whole really, really lovely day. But yeah, that's one of my biggest booktube memories. It's a really nice community to be in, guys. I really like, I feel happy and pleased every day that I'm still making videos. So yeah. And then the last question in the sort of like booktube YouTube section is, would I ever do YouTube as my job? Now, beforehand, I probably would have said, before COVID, BC, before COVID, I probably would have said no, for the reason that I feel like I need structure, and I'm not very good at sort of self-motivating, which is something that so this year is the first year that I haven't set a schedule. Normally I make videos. So last year, for instance, I was making videos Wednesdays, Fridays and Sundays. And this year's the first year I was like, oh, I'm going to be really chill and just sort of make videos as I want. And in some ways that has been nice, but in other ways it's been more stressful because I'm like, oh, it's been 10 days and I haven't made a video yet and I've got nothing to think about. And whereas that point I had that. So I think if I could be more structured with it, then yes, I would love to do it as a career, because what would be nicer than sitting and reading and making videos in your own lounge, what would be nicer, really? Like, reading's a hobby, and to be able to do that would be lovely. So yeah, I think the answer is now yes, because I think COVID for me made me realise a lot of sort of like, I know it sounds really like seize the day, but yeah, it made me think that like life's too short to not do the things that I love, and I want to start putting a bit more effort into the things that I love, like this. So yeah, I need to get thing. But also saying that though, when I do Vlogmas, which is something in YouTube world where people make a video every day on the run up to Christmas, from the 1st of December to the run up to Christmas. My God, I love doing that, and I love watching it back, and I always feel so accomplished afterwards. But it is so tiring to make a video every day. So like, as well as making a video every day, I'm like vlogging every day as well. It's so tiring. So yeah, I would love to do it, but I definitely have to structure my days a bit better. Liz says, I just quickly popped in to throw confetti at you. Congrats. What I love most about your videos, your bubbly personality, and of course Vlogmas. And Cheryl says, glad you're happy every day. That's so cute. Right, okay, so those were the bookish questions. There will be like an opportunity at the end to ask me any more questions if you may like. But let's move on to the slightly more random stuff. Not so much random, but just basically not bookish. I so love your Vlogmas videos, but I don't know how you do it. Yeah, I don't know how to do it. When I look back at it, I'm like, whoa, how did I fit that all in? Because also you want to do fun things as well, so that you're not just like, here's me sat on my, I mean, it's lovely. Here's me sat on my sofa reading another Christmas book in front of the Christmas tree. But also, yeah, you want to do some fun things as well. Right, so random questions and questions that aren't to do with books. Before we move on to any questions you guys might have here, it's 20 to 8. David's going to start making me dinner in 20 minutes. That's fine, we've got plenty of time. My favourite Spice Girl then and now. So my favourite Spice Girl back in the day was Ginger Spice, Geri Halliwell. She was my absolute idol and icon. I'd never seen a woman like her who was so unashamedly feminine and female, and she had lovely big boobs on her and wore really mad things and had this bright ginger hair and said things about feminism which I didn't really understand, but like so much girl power and stuff like that, and just loved her, and loved that she was curvy and she wasn't like your typical sort of like stick thin pop star, and loved her, but more recently I would potentially say that Mel B, or one of the Melanies, would maybe be my favourite now. I went to see Spice Girls when they reunited in concert last year in June last year, was it? And I was so excited. I mean, I've never seen the Spice Girls before. Me and my sister went. We had one of the best days. It was one of the best days of my life. It was so full of fun and joy. And David wasn't there. Charlotte and I, my sister Charlotte, we had Spice Girls t-shirts on, and we like were up on the train, and people were also wearing Spice Girls t-shirts. We got chatting to girls on the train, and where are your seats, and and we went to Dishoom for dinner, and where the girls on the table next to us were like, oh, where are you sitting? We're so excited. Blah 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 blah. Went to the toilet while I was in there, and there was a girl in there painting a Union Jack on her face, and she was like, come here, let me put a bit of glitter on you. It was just one of the loveliest days. We were on the tube, we were all singing Spice Girls songs. It was amazing. I had such a good day. And yeah, up until that point, Geri had always been my favourite, but yeah, she was sort of like a sort of definitely a diluted version of she's not the same. I mean, I still admire her greatly, but she's not the Geri I fell in love with in 1996. She's a different woman now, and people do grow. And I think that's why maybe now I love the Melanies a bit more now. They were so up for it, both of them. Mel B and Mel C were just so up for the concert. They all knew the routines, but they were just amazing and just so interacting with the crowd. And I've listened to Melanie C on a few podcasts and things like that, talking about women in sport and stuff like that. And it just sounds like a lot of our values mesh up together. And yeah, I mean, I just love the Spice Girls, guys. I love them. Kit Katie says, that sounds so lovely. Dishoom is brilliant. Dishoom is brilliant. So yeah, that's my favourite Spice Girl then and now. What's my favourite meal ever? Now, this is going to sound really random. So, hey, Lauren and David, I love your Insta feeds. Waiting for your Halloween and Christmas TBR 2020. Do you think it will be a challenge building up to one this year? TBR. I'll answer questions. I'm on to my random questions now. So if you've got any more questions, ask at the end. So favourite meal ever. So I've got a few like sort of like a bank of food memories in my head. My favourite meal ever. At the moment, I mean, it changes all the time, but my God, I love pizza so much. Like a proper stone-baked pizza in a pizza oven. Amazing if I'm having it at a restaurant, but even better if I'm doing it like by myself at home. I went to a pizza workshop earlier this year. Absolutely loved it. David's parents have got a pizza oven in their garden. We've used that a few times. It's really nice. I've made pizza dough here. I've had friends around while doing that. Like, I just think it's a really sociable thing to eat and to make. And can you really get a bad pizza? I don't think you can. But one of my favourite ever food memories, and it's such a sort of like a bit of a not the most exciting of foods, but it's just got such a lovely memory around it. So we went to the Lake District last year with me, David, my cousin Laura, husband Tom, and their daughter Delia, my auntie Marilyn, and Laura's friends Toby and Benedict. And we just had such a lovely week, and we went on this really, really massive long walk, which started off being really rainy, really drizzly. I was in like waterproof shoes, which had just been absolutely soaked through within the first sort of 45 minutes. It was hilly. We were sort of like going up this hill like that. We were off tracks. I mean, we were all having a lovely time. By the time like we'd been walking about 3 hours, it was boiling. We'd all tied our rain mats around our waist and things like that, and we were walking to a bakery in a nearby village, which on the map didn't look very far, but because we went all off piste, it was. And when we got there after we'd been walking for like, and like Delia, my cousin's child, I don't know how I would refer to her. Is she my second cousin? If she's my cousin's child, she was in like this. She was on the back of her dad's back, and she just done really well to sort of like be on her dad's back for this whole time. It had been raining and all sorts, yeah, when we got there, and like it just felt like we've been walking all day. I had a cheese and potato pie with with peas and gravy, and ate it, and it was just the most perfect thing I've ever eaten in my life, and it always stays with me as one of the best meals of my life, because I was just so. It was just exactly what I needed at that time. Exactly what I needed at that time. And it was just so perfect. So yeah, whenever I think of like my favourite meal ever, that will definitely go down as one of my favourite meal evers. But yeah, cheese and potato pie with peas and gravy. It's not exactly the most glamorous of foods, is it? But it was really, really lovely. There's some pizza chat going on here. So bad pizza is gluten, egg or dairy free. The cheese was made from oil when it didn't melt. Pizza seems like such a massive treat now since lockdown. I've started ordering Domino's every so often. It feels like this huge risk and indulgement. Good pizza equals a good amount of cheese. Now I'm hungry again. I'll put it on the pounds now. How different is my life now at 33 than pictured than it would be at 23? I'll ask me questions like that at the end, because yeah, I'm going to work through these guys, and then we'll have a little Q&A question at the end. Is it getting too dark? Do I need to put that light on? Alexa, turn on dinosaur light. Is that better? Who knows? Have I always been a glass half full person? Is the next question. And I think the answer to that is yes. I've always been quite a positive and optimistic person. Sometimes to my, like in a sort of like way where I work myself up into believing that something's going to happen and it doesn't happen. So it's lovely to be a positive person and to sort of like expel that onto people, and I love being around positive people and love sort of chatting with positive people. But like I have one of the downsides of being a positive person, if you can put a spin on a downside of being a positive person, is that sometimes I've sort of convinced myself that something's going to happen, or well, yeah, basically I've convinced myself that something's going to happen, and it hasn't. So yeah, sometimes like I love being a positive person, and I feel I thrive around positive people. So yeah, I think the answer to that is yes. I mean, there's not really much more to say. Always, but like even as a child, I feel like I was never much of a worrier, and more of a just sort of like, oh, let's get it done. And I do feel like that, like whenever there's a problem, like be it at work or I just think, oh, I'd just rather just get it sorted now. Let's just get it sorted now. So yeah. And actually, the next question is, so the next ones are, the next three are all about my career. And jobs. So the first one is, what jobs have I done since university? Sorry, I think I might have set off a few people's Alexas then, sorry. No, she's not having me. Someone just said they couldn't find the dinosaur light. Got dinosaur light and big lamp is what we call them. Right, what jobs have I done since university? When I was at university, so where I started, I did a job. I'll tell you about my job history, guys, if you're really interested. I used to work at a cost cutter near where my parents live, and I worked there from when I was 14. And I started off on the butcher counter, like do it on the deli counter in the bakery and things like that when I was 14, which is young to start, like, and I wasn't on much money either. Yeah, went there, and then all the way through school worked there. And then when I went to university, I had 3 jobs for 3 years. I kept returning back to my cost cutter job. Every time I come home, I would go and do some shifts there and things like that. But I worked in Marks and Spencer's my first year on the Christmas department, which was such hard work. And you're just on, like, retail is such hard work, and people who work in retail full time, I bow down to you because you're on your feet constantly. People aren't particularly nice to you. Like I've never got any memories of people being lovely to me. It was always people just wanting answers, and it's just such long hours and hard work. So yeah, I did my first year that I was at university. I worked at Marks and Spencer's in the Christmas department, which was just shelf stacking really, and them sort of like they weren't very nice to me, like as a temporary member of staff. They would just sort of like put me like I was at university and I'd taken on a job where I would work. So I was at university Monday to Friday, and then I did a job, and then I worked at Marks and Spencer's and did 9 till 5 on a Saturday and 11 till 4 on a Sunday, and those were my hours. And then I'd come in on a Saturday and they'd be like, well, where were you on Wednesday? And I'd say, I don't know. And they said, well, you were down on the rotor. I said, I got told my hours were these were the hours that I went for. So it weren't very nice. So yeah, that wasn't the greatest job. In my second year, I worked at Zara, the clothes store. Which again, I'm going to have to rescue Minnie because she's about to run out the window. Get down. Get down. Good girl. Push that chair in and then you can't get up. Move. Sorry, guys. You have to have your eyes constantly on her. My second year I worked at Zara, which again was really hard work. Worked in the children's wear department, which was at the top of the store. And we got given like, really, again, this is another reason like why working in retail so hard. We got given absolutely mental targets. Like on a Saturday, we were supposed to be bringing in like £3,000 worth of clothes. Sometimes no one would even come into our department. So we're not even selling like £3 worth of clothes, let alone £3,000 worth of clothes. So that was also very, very hard. And again, at the weekend. And then my last year I worked in H&M, which was better and much more relaxed, and really good discount. You used to get 25% off of H&M clothes, so quite like that. But again, like really hard work. You're on your feet the whole time. Like there's nowhere to sit. So even like in an office job, like you could just have a little perch down, or like other jobs there's somewhere to sit. But if you're doing a retail job, there is literally nowhere to sit, so just be on your feet all day. Like I remember when I used to work, when I worked at Marks and Spencer, that was my hardest thing, was that, and I only got one lunch break, so I was on my feet for like 9 hours basically, with like a 15-minute sit down. Yeah, so that was my university jobs. Then when I left university, my dad worked in the estates department of a hospital, and he got me a job because my plan was always to become a teacher, an English teacher first of all, but when I didn't get the grades to go to university and study English, I did sociology at university. I was like, I'll become a sociology teacher, that's decided then. My heart was never like super in it, being a teacher. I thought I'll just be a teacher. That's what I thought. I'd never really thought, there was never a job that I sort of had my heart set on and I was like, I really want to do that. So I thought I'd just be a teacher. So when I left university, Minnie's just running around there, isn't she? Lots of people coming in with their retail stories of having worked in retail and it being stressful. So when I left university, my dad was working at a hospital, and he was like, do you want me to see if I can get you a job there? So I started working in the X-ray library of the hospital that I now work at. And what I had to do was, there was this massive, dusty, dark, sweaty room, and this was in summer, so I just left uni, so I got a job working there for the summer, and I had to go through and take off every tiny little thin folder, and if they hadn't had an X-ray for the last 10 years, so every folder had different stickers on, different colour stickers, you chucked it. And I did that non-stop again. I worked 3 days a week, and it was like full time, and I'd go and have an hour's lunch break with my dad, and I did that. And that was really knackering and really boring. I don't think I had an iPod or anything. Like I didn't have an iPod till later. So I think I just used to sort of like the radio would be on and I would just crack on with that. So I did that for a few, I don't feel like it was that long. I did that for a few months maybe. And then I got a job as a support secretary in the diabetes centre that I work in now. So when I was being a support secretary, I was typing clinics, answering phone calls, taking messages, similar to what I do now, but with much less decision making, much more sort of like an answer phone basically. So I would do that. So and as the hours increased on that job, I then stopped doing the stuff with the medical records, which was nice because it was really sweaty and horrible in there. Then I got a job working as a PA, in the same hospital. So all of this is in the same hospital. So quite quickly I realised that maybe I don't want to go to university. Maybe I don't want to go to teacher training college and become a teacher. I'm earning pretty good money. Like all of my friends were still in retail jobs and things like that, and I was earning like pretty good wage. So I was like, maybe I don't need to do that. I don't really want to do that. Went and got a job as a PA, quite enjoyed that, but a higher paid job came up in another department, in the orthopaedics department, doing something similar to what I'm doing now. So the job that I was doing in the orthopaedics department, I can't remember the actual title. The thing is that they give you, I think in the olden days, the job would have been called medical secretary, but there's so much more to it now than there was then. And I was working in the orthopaedics department and scheduling operations, arranging operations, getting specialist equipment in, like doing appointments for people, like typing letters, things like that. And that's why I was doing that. And then a job came up in the diabetes centre where I'd started working. And I knew the team and I'd enjoyed working there. So I went for that and I got that, and that's where I am now. So as I said, the job probably would have been called medical secretary in the olden days. It's currently called pathway coordinator, because it involves a lot more than sort of like I said, there's a lot of decision making. I do a lot of rota coordination. So I look after a team of four consultants, some junior doctors, a nursing team, and there's myself and my colleague who are the admin support. And yeah, it's really full on. You work for the NHS, it's really hard work. There's days where you sort of like just crack on and think, it's 2:00 and I've been here since 7:30 and I haven't had a wee yet. Like, it's very, very full on. But I know the job back to front. Recently I've been working from home, which I've been really, really enjoying. I do 1 week on, 1 week off, working from home, and I really have been thriving doing that. I enjoy working from home and I enjoy sort of going in. But yeah, so that's the job that I do. So one of the questions was, what is my job, as well as what jobs have I done since uni? So that's covered almost all of it really. And my career plans going forward. So I have to have a appraisal every so often at work, and I'm always sort of asked like, oh, how would you like to progress, and would you like to take any sort of leadership courses or management courses and things like that? And my answer honestly is always no, because I'm very sort of happy to do the job that I'm at now. I've reached the top of my pay scale now because I've been in that job for such a long time. Unless I took on another role, I wouldn't be able to earn any more money than I'm earning now. But money is not it's not an incentive for me. Like, I don't think, oh, I want to get a better job because I want more money. Like, what I want is time. Like, I want more time to spend on my YouTube videos. I want more time with David. It's been fine at the moment because David hasn't been going back and forth to London, but during the week normally, David leaves here before I've woken up, and I'm not talking about like, oh, he leaves here half hour before I've woken up. David leaves the house like 2 hours before I've even woken up, and then he gets home about 7 or 8 o'clock. So yeah, I wanted more time with him and things like that. So yeah, I'm not interested in terms of career progression. I'm quite happy to stay with in the job that I'm doing now, or a job similar. I'd like to do less hours because I'd like to commit some real time to my YouTube channel. What I used to do before COVID happened is I would do a condensed week, so I was still full time, but I'd work it so I'd get every other Thursday off. Now I'm working from home, that's not quite as easy as it was before, because my colleague and I need to share the work commitments when we're in the office, so I've not always been able to do that. And yeah, so basically in terms of career progression, where I am at the moment, I don't see myself progressing any further. God, was that really, really boring and long? Sorry. I've noticed no one's even said anything in the comments. You've just been listening to me sort of wang on about that. So yeah, those are the those were the last random questions. Let me just see what the comments are. Let me have a drink because I'm knackered after all that. Shaved Minnie is reminding me of a tiny cryptid. I don't know what a cryptid is. Like a little tiny lion, she is. Loved hearing all that. So interesting. Oh, good. I'm glad. So yeah. I think a lot of people are sort of expected to want to progress, particularly sort of like in the level of management that I would go into if I was to take a career progression post is dominated by women as well. So that would sort of be where I would go to, but yeah, it just doesn't hold much allure for me. I'm just not sort of into it. And I feel like maybe you don't often hear that from people, I don't think. You don't often hear people say, oh no, I'm quite happy where I am. And whenever I have my appraisal, I'm often sort of said, oh, like, are you sure? Because I don't think people often say that. But honestly, I am sort of really happy sort of going in, doing a job that I know, for a team that I know really well, and cracking on with that. So yeah. Right, so that's all that. I agree about career progression. I would rather concentrate on a good work-life balance. Yeah, that's work-life balance is what I was trying to say. Yeah, like I'm more interested in concentrating on a work-life balance than progressing my career. I don't need the increase in salary. Like I've got everything I need in terms of like I love where I live. I love living with my boyfriend and my cat. We don't have expensive hobbies. We don't go on expensive holidays. So none of that is needed for me. I just want more time. So the only sort of progression I guess I would make if this is seen as progression is to reduce my hours. So that I would be able to spend a bit more time. So yeah, I hate the assumption that you have to be ambitious about moving up the ladder or move up to management, but I've always been happy staying where I am. Oh good, it's absolutely fine to stay happy where you are. Yeah, and another thing, that word ambitious as well, like I do still consider myself quite an ambitious person, like and a driven person. Like I like working to targets and things like that, but I've just got no sort of ambitions work-wise to do that. And I just love being with my husband and my cat. I just want to be part-time. Yeah, maybe we're a new breed, guys, because I don't often hear people say things like that. So it's quite refreshing to hear it from you guys as well. Cryptids are creatures of urban legend like the Loch Ness Monster, Mothman, mystery animals. I think it's the fact she's black cat and keeps whizzing past the camera glaring painfully. I don't know what it is that she wants. She's gone now. It's because they see how capable you are. Thank you. Yeah, I am. And also, like, I say about like my job and being able to do my job, like I'm really good at my job. Like that's not, and like you could ask any of the team and things like that, and I don't feel like big-headed saying that, because I know like you could get me at any time. You could literally wake me up in the middle of the night and say, oh Lauren, when's da-da-da's appointment? And I'd be like, oh, it's here. Like I'm pretty good at remembering stuff and being, and yeah, and I'm good at the job, so yeah. Right, okay, so if you've got any questions to ask me, now might be the time. A few people, so some of the questions people had asked me. Someone asked me at the beginning about the Strictly Pod Dancing podcast. So Strictly Come Dancing is a programme that runs in the UK. It runs in the run-up to Christmas. Normally by now, they've started announcing celebrities who are going to do it. It's a dance competition, ballroom and Latin dancing. I absolutely love it. It's one of my highlights of the year. I look forward to it all year. When I'm watching it, I'm like, eat it with my eyes, have a lovely, lovely time. It's going to be 4 weeks shorter this year because of coronavirus, and they're having to put in sort of like they're having to film it differently. It's not going to be the same sort of programme this year. I'm still so pumped off my head with it. But last year, David and I did a podcast for it called Strictly Pod Dancing, where we did a show after each show and talked about our favourite dances, things like that. We really enjoyed doing that, and we really enjoyed people being involved with it. But we've decided not to do it this year. We sort of had decided, so also on the run up to Christmas last year, David was so ill he had to have emergency tooth surgery, he had an infection afterwards. I still think he had coronavirus then, but I don't know. He was so sick. He was literally bedbound for about 8 days, just couldn't move, couldn't talk. So we didn't actually film the last episode. It just never happened. And we were going to do a Christmas episode, but he was still unwell over Christmas. So yeah, but we've decided not to do the podcast this year just because we felt like it became more of an obligation rather than a treat of us talking about it. And like some nights when we filmed it on a Saturday, we then talk about it afterwards for an hour, and then David would have to edit it, and then it just didn't end up being what we hoped it would be. So we're not gonna do the podcast this year. Enjoy your roast dinner. We're not gonna do the podcast this year, but we are gonna be enjoying it, and sort of like just like we could never go to like my sister's and watch it and get a takeaway because we knew we had to come back and film it, and we knew we had to come back and record and things like that. So it took some of the spontaneity and fun out of it for us. So yeah, we've decided not to do it again this year. Sorry, but we'll still be watching and having a lovely time. So yeah. So I'll answer this question now. I'd like to know how different Lauren at 33 is to who Lauren at 23 thought she would be. What's different? What's the same? And what would you tell 23-year-old Lauren? So 23-year-old Lauren, I think, would be surprised at how content this Lauren is. I was never a very contented person. Whilst I've said I've been very positive throughout my life, I was very down on myself in terms of physical appearance, as are many women in their early 20s, like even from like leaving school. I always I never believed in myself in terms of like just I never liked the way I looked is what I'm trying to say, and now I love the way I look, and I love the way my body moves, and I love the way my body feels, and I feel like I'm so delighted at myself of that, and I feel like that's the main thing is that 23-year-old Lauren wouldn't believe how in love with herself 33-year-old Lauren is, which is a lovely place to be, guys. It really is. So yeah, that's really nice. I also feel like at 23 I'd always been the sort of person who I had a boyfriend through school, the same boyfriend through school. I left university, I left school, and had like I've always been in long-term relationships, had the same boyfriend through university, things like that. All of these relationships were sort of I was never fully myself. At the time, you would have thought, oh yeah, like, at the time, if you'd have asked me, I'd have been like, oh my God, I love him so much. He's so perfect, we're so right for each other. But honestly, until I'd met David, I'd never realised what it felt like to sort of like, oh, well, everything's all right now. Like, honestly, his soul matches my soul. There's like a quote of that, isn't there, from Wuthering Heights? Whatever our souls are made of, which probably isn't like, you don't want to compare yourself to Heathcliff and Kathy, do you? But like David and I are made from we're cut from the same cloth, and I think 23-year-old Lauren would be delighted to know that she finds the perfect person for her. So yeah, that's another thing.
Who, me?
Yeah, have you got top off again?
Yeah.
Got his top off again. So yeah, that's another thing I think I would look at and think, are you putting your tummy in the street?
No.
And lastly, I think she'd be sort of proud of her in terms of like speaking up for myself. This is going to sound sort of down on my family, and I don't mean it to sound like this, but I feel like a lot of people who were brought up in the 90s by parents of my parents' age, I was sort of almost told, and it wasn't a particularly strict upbringing, but I was also always told to sort of like keep quiet. And when you're as loud as I am, it's hard to keep quiet. And I had sort of views about things, and I just sort of like go along with stuff, and like the way I let boys treat me and stuff was always not very feminist at all, and like the things I'd laugh about, I'd be horrified to laugh about now within a group of friends and things like that. I'm making everyone that I've surrounded myself with my whole life sound awful, but basically I think she'd be really proud of myself that now if something was said in front of me, I would call that out. I keep thinking David's going to come back in, and I look after myself now, and which is something I never used to do. So yeah, I think that's good. You do it again. So there he goes. There he goes. And it's on a delay, so I got to enjoy it myself down there as well.
You got to see it 4 times.
I got to see it 4 times. I think you and David should just film yourselves doing dances on your channel when you feel like it. That'd be fab. Yeah, I would like to do that. I love that. Here's to loving ourselves and our bodies. What a fantastic answer. That's what you call a flex. You deserve this. Lauren, I'm so happy you're happy with yourself now. I'll never get there. Don't say you'll never get there, Gemstone, because honestly, I thought I'd never get there. I've been sort of slumped in a changing room crying my eyes out because I don't fit into a pair of size 16 trousers anymore. And now, like, none of that means nothing to me. And I thought I would never get there. But you just need to chip away at it every single day. Just look at yourself in the mirror. Think about how wonderful you are. And honestly, little tiny steps. It sounds so like, me saying it now, it must sound so annoying to be like, oh, it's just little tiny steps. But honestly, that's how I got here, little tiny steps. And now I think I'm fantastic, and I think I look fantastic. So yeah, even with my dinosaur eyes, all scabby and swollen. Cheeky. Up. I know exactly what you mean. I too am loud. Oh gosh, yeah, I know how I diminish myself and put myself down for men who weren't worth it. Yeah, absolutely. Like, oh God, I've got some horror stories of things I've put up with in the past and sort of gone along with, even though I haven't wanted to do them, and like just said, oh, just yeah, all that daftness. How did David and I meet? It's no wonder you love him. Can't imagine you without your girl pal. Like those little dancing step of David's just now. Yeah, little baby steps of just dancing steps. It took me so long. I sometimes struggle, but most of the time I like me. Yeah, you'll get. It's a lovely place to be, and I think a lot of like there's a lot to say about being content, like particularly now in this sort of life where you're told forever you can have whatever you want, you can do whatever you want. But what I want and what I want to have and what I want to do is just to have contentedness, just to sort of sit around. And quite often I do. I sit on the sofa and I just look around and I think, oh, it's just lovely, isn't it? Just nice, put a record on, sit there for a bit, do a bit of colouring, read a book, listen to an audio book, go and have a nice bath. Like, all of those things are just, that's my pleasure. Right. How did David and I meet? I feel like a lot of people who've been here a long time will have heard this story a million times over, so apologies, but I was going to talk about it anyway because a lot of people asked on Instagram. So David and I met in a pub. My parents have a place in France where they holiday to a couple of times a year, making it sound like it's a massive chateau. It's not. It's a little tiny house in the middle, literally like in the middle of France. It's 8 hours door to door. You coming to listen to me talk about this story?
I like that story.
I had been out for so I was going there. That's where that bit comes into the story. And it was back in the days when I used to drink booze. I don't drink booze anymore. I'd been out for a curry with my friend Emma for her birthday, who you probably will know. She has been in a few videos and stuff. Been out for a curry, and then I'd driven because I wasn't drinking, and I dropped everyone off at the pub, and they were like, "Oh, come in for one," and I was like, "Oh, I don't really want to come in for one. I've got to be up at like 3 a.m. But I was like, "Oh, I'll go in for one." So I parked the car, walked up, and things like that. We went into the bar, and my friends Emily and Jenny. I'm aware I've got friends that have all got similar names. Like we're like Emma and Emily are really similar names, and Emily and Jenny are really similar names. Emily and Jenny pointed to the camera behind the bar of the pub we were in. Here he is. And they said, "Oh, look who's in here! Look who's in here!" And on the camera was this little face down drinking with your mate. So it was back in the day where David was wearing a shirt, light blue denim jeans, and a blazer, and pointy shoes. That was the order of the day. And the reason they pointed him out to me is that they'd said to me before, "Oh, you should meet." Woody was what he went by then. You should meet Woody because he really likes Disney and he really likes Christmas, and I think you'd really like the things. And like, I just don't think we'd ever been in the same room together, had we?
No.
It's why it hadn't happened.
Well, I think we had, but I think that our paths would just never crossed.
So our paths would never cross because we both were going like we live in like a small town. I didn't live in that town at the time. Where like if you go out drinking, you're bound to bump into someone at some point. Basically, like there's only 3 secondary schools, and like everyone sort of knew each other really, or you'd know someone that knew someone. Anyway, so they pointed, and there he was. Anyway, we're outside having a fag because I was on the fags those days as well, booze and fags, both of the bad things. God, imagine me having a fag or any booze now. I'd be curled in a corner just weeping.
God, I'd just have to be nursing you.
David was on the fags as well, and we were outside having a cigarette, and David come over, and no, sorry, this is when you're inside. So he comes over and he's got a little, he's got a button undone on his, and Jenny put her hand in his shirt and said, "Oh, look at this." Anyway, then we went outside, and I was like, "Oh, I'm Lauren, nice to meet you, blah, blah, blah." Then we went outside, had a cigarette, and David and I just talked all night. We were just talking like absolute crap, really, weren't we? And crap was one of the things we were talking about, and just spoke all night. And I remember we'd gone there about sort of 11:15. Well, it was before 11 because to get in the Red Lion you have to be in by 11. So we'd been in there, and I remember looking at my phone thinking, "Oh my God, it's 1 o'clock in the morning. I've got to be up in 2 hours to go to France. I'm not driving, my dad's driving, so I can sleep in the car." And Dave and I had been talking, and I was like, "All right, well, I've got to go now, so I'll see you later." So I went indoors, said to Emily and Jenny, "Oh, I've got to go now. I've got to be up whenever." And they said, "Oh, what's going on with you two?" And I was like, "Oh, nothing. Like we just said goodbye." And I was like, "I'm going to go and ask him for his number because I just feel like something happened. I just feel like it really, like something, something happened." Like, so I went outside and said, "Oh, hi." And I remember your little face like lit up when I come back. You were like, "Oh, hi." You were really pleased to see me again because I just said bye. And I was like, "Oh, I feel like we should swap numbers. Do you think we should swap numbers?" And you were like, yeah. Do you remember this or not? Really?
Not really, but you...
And then you were like, "I'm so sorry, but I've forgot, you've got your phone out and everything." And I was like, "Oh, it's this." And you put the number in, you were like, "Oh, I'm so sorry, but I forgot your name." And you'd forgotten my name. And I remember you being quite bothered about that and being like, "Imagine if you'd been so offended." And I was like, "Not really," because I'd said like, "Oh, hi, my name is Duh" at the beginning, and then we'd been talking for hours, like, and it hadn't come up again. It's not like people coming over like Lauren or anything like that.
Quite drunk.
And you were quite drunk. Anyway, we swapped numbers. No, I think I just gave you my number, and then you were like, "Oh, I'll text you." So I was like, "Oh, it is Anne's, but fine." Then I went home and slept for about 40 minutes and then got on the road to France. And we texted a little bit that week, didn't we? I remember texting that week and being all excited. And then the night I came home, I met him down the local old man's pub that David used to drink in. And then we went to the nightclub, the awful nightclub, which is basically just a room above Burton, and had a little smooch in there, didn't we? And also, I haven't been back there. Neither of us have been back there since. I used to go there like every weekend, sometimes twice in a weekend with Neve.
No need to.
No need to. Got myself a bloke now. So yeah, we were pretty much on since then.
It was
minor hiccups in the beginning, but like honestly, it was on since then. And I guess we just knew. Do you think we just knew?
Yeah, instantly.
Like, I just knew. So, yeah. It was very, very nice. It's sort of like... So it's a very, like... I guess, like, in the UK, that's probably as traditional as you can get to meeting. Like, now I know a lot of people meet online and stuff.
Yeah.
So, like, I think probably about 10 years ago, that was how people met. So, yeah, so... It's a special story to me, but it's not like we met...
No.
Yeah, but it's just
nice.
He's cute, isn't he? So yeah, and it's just been on since then. And then we moved in with each other. So we met in the February, because Emma's birthday is middle of February. And we moved in with each other the following February.
Yeah, in a year.
And that was 8 years ago?
No, 7.
It will be 8 years in February.
It will be 8 years in February.
Yeah, it will be 8 years in February. So yeah, it's a long old time, isn't it? Long old time. Oh, and the rest, I'm damn near melting. This is one for the books. Cute. You two are cute. Thank you. Yeah, we are quite cute.
I'm shutting the kitchen door.
Oh, why?
Because I'm cooking.
Oh, okay then. How long's it going to be?
It says 20 minutes, so I'd say 35 minutes.
Okay, cool. I'll just keep going until my dinner's ready, guys, if you want. Shall I just keep going until my dinner's ready, or what? Yeah. How long have we been together? Yeah, I've just said it'll be 8 years in February. Can't imagine Lauren without David. I can't imagine Lauren without David. And yeah, it just sort of like, he just slotted in very well with like, we both slotted in very well with our lives. Like David's, like David's friends are my friends, like, and like he's part of my family, and like he refers to my sister as his sister and things like that. So yeah, it's lovely. It's really, really lovely. Yeah, keep on going even into dinner. Probably having met a few times without meeting is how it was with my parents, with a friend of mine and her boyfriend, and now you. I just take another look at my circle of acquaintances. You're kindred spirits. Yeah, I think we are kindred spirits. It's very cute. Oh, David, what'd you say you keep going for? Look at Minnie running around in the background all silly. David's being cheeky in the kitchen. So yeah. Oh, and the last question, so if anyone's got any other questions, the last question was people had asked how Minnie was. So, oh God, this time last week, actually not quite this time last week, I think it's about a half hour, it had been so hot in the UK. I live in the southeast of the UK. I think we got to something like 9 days back to back, where Joe says hi. What Joe is that? Is that Joe from work? I think it might be Joe from work. Yeah, we got to something like 9 days of temperatures over 30, and it was just like, I felt like it was in the bricks of my house. Yeah, it is. Hi Joe. I felt like it was in the bricks of my house and the bones of my body, and there was no fucking air, and it was horrible. And yeah, Minnie just had a bit of a funny turn. She went to the toilet about literally like every 30 seconds for about an hour and a half, and I was like, oh, and then she did a wee like in my flip-flops, which is really unlike her, and I wiped up the wee and it was a bit discoloured, and I was like, oh God, has that got blood in it? I don't know. So I rang, our vets was closed until the Monday, this was all on Saturday night, so I rang the vets, I ran emergency vets, and they said, oh, I think you need an online consultation. So I booked an online consultation, which was 24 quid, which, like, when it comes to Minnie, I'll just literally throw money at her until she's well again. And that was not for an hour and a half. So in the meantime, David's out with his mates. I rang him, like, because I remember I wanted to put something on Facebook before, not on Facebook, when I'd put something on Instagram. A few of my followers, who may well be watching now, I don't know, are vets and have been or veterinary nurses, or have experiences with cats and things, and have always been very reassuring and helpful whenever I've said, oh, Minnie's doing this or whatever. So I said to David, oh, just to let you know, I'm putting something on Instagram about Minnie, I think she's gonna be all right. I've got a vet's appointment, just let you know. And he completely panicked and wanted to come home. Then ended up staying at his parents for the night because he couldn't get all the way home to here. So I got an online consultation. Look at her showing off in the background. I got an online consultation for her, and then I literally pressed the button to book it, donk, on my computer, and she didn't wee again. And then when I spoke to the vet, I was like, oh, she's been weird a bit, and da-da-da. And she said, well, she seems okay now, and she'd like settled down. She said, oh, if she had cystitis or blockage or something, she wouldn't be able to settle. And she'd been eating and drinking, and she'd done a poo and stuff like that. So that had all happened, and like we managed to keep her cool for the night, and like she went back to the toilet a few times, changed the litter and everything. And then that sort of went away. And then during the week on Thursday, David thought that she was doing it again, and I was like, she's not doing it again, because literally she wasn't out of her tray. She was like in and out of the tray constantly. I said, she's not doing it again. It was pretty bad. And he panicked and wanted to take her to the vet. So he took her to the vets on Thursday, and they've given her some medication. I think she's been all right since last weekend. So I don't know if it was just the weather that turned her like hot and bothered. But yeah, she went to the vets and had an anti-inflammatory, and she's on some antibiotics. But yeah, if it was cystitis. But yeah, they're babies, aren't they? They're our babies. Even if you've got babies, like you can have different kinds of babies. You can have human babies and dog babies and cat babies and guinea pig babies and fish babies and bird babies, like all the sorts of babies you want, you can have them. And Minnie is our baby. So yeah, we were very, very worried about her. So yeah, but she's been fine. Like she's been absolutely fine since. So thank you for your care, and thank you like anyone who sort of gets back to me on Instagram and stuff with sort of reassurances. And a lot of people are like, oh, my cat had this and then she passed it over after a day. I was just like, oh, but she is an old girl now. When we got her, she was 12. Well, we got her from Cat Protection League, and she'd come over. She was born in Russia, and she came over with a old lady who came over, and she said that she'd brought her over when she was 5. Then she'd lived with her for 3 years in the UK, and then the old lady had gone into care, which I think is the case with a lot of sort of Cat Protection League cats, is that if people go into care homes, they can't take their animals with them, and if family can't have them. And that's how we ended up with Minnie. And they said, oh, we got told that she was 12, or no, we got told she was 8. Oh, I can't remember, 9 maybe. We were told she was 9, but we can't be sure, blah, blah, blah. And she's very little diddy thing, and she's always like been in quite good health. So whenever she's ill, I'm like, oh God, I hope she's gonna be okay. But yeah, oh God, they are a worry. But doesn't everyone go doolally in this heat? So yeah, I think she went a bit doolally as well. Lauren, do you have any future booktube goals or aspirations, plans for the future? Thanks for asking, Simon. I'd like to get back into a schedule, to be honest. As I said at the beginning of this video, I used to always have a schedule where I'd upload Wednesdays, Fridays and Sundays. And I said, oh, I'm not going to give myself a schedule this year. And I don't feel like it's worked it hasn't worked for me. It's been to my detriment, I think, because I quite often think, oh, I haven't put a video up. And I'll also say, and I don't mean this this is really going to sound like I'm digging, and I'm not digging for compliments, but like, I don't think I've pushed myself with my channel for a long time. Definitely not while COVID's been on, and maybe not this year at all. And the only thing I can think that's happened with that is that I haven't been setting myself to a schedule. So I haven't really been planning videos. Ordinarily I would have like bullet journal poll, like things of videos I want to make. I'll be asking you guys what you want to see and things like that, and I don't feel like I've been doing that. I've been making efforts to make the alphabet series and stuff like that, and I haven't really been doing that. And I feel like I work best when I'm working to a schedule. So one of my sort of aspirations is to get back to a schedule and to sort of like sort myself out a bit and do it so that I'm gonna actually make the videos that I should and could be making, rather than at the moment I look back and it's basically like haul, wrap up TBR, haul, wrap up TBR, haul, wrap up TBR. And then throughout lockdown, which was lovely, and like, don't get me wrong, like Cosy Reader Night was a balm for my mental health throughout, aside from the Cosy Reader Nights being inserted there, which have been lovely, and I really am proud of myself for doing those. I don't feel like I've pushed myself. So yeah, I want to push myself a bit more, is one of my goals and my plans for the future. So yeah, this year has been so chaotic, routines and normal have been impossible to maintain. Yeah, I think so. And like, yeah, I just know I haven't been, but I don't think I've been at my best throughout the year in terms of like a lot of things. Like I feel like it's hard to be at your best when things are so uncertain. Oh, it's very like, and I know a lot of people will be feeling this, and I also feel like I'm in quite a sort of, I'm at the high end of it being like, even though my quarantine period and like was shitty, like everyone's was. I'm at the sort of like good end of shitty. Like how shitty can it be when David and I live in a flat by ourselves? We've got no kids to entertain, no childcare worries. We were pretty fortunate with food throughout. We lived walking distance to a shop. We were able to get food. My parents aren't elderly. I haven't got anybody in my immediate life that are unwell. So yeah, I know, but yeah, I just don't feel like I've been at my best for a while. Let's have a look. I love all your videos and always happy when one pops up, but I do miss your schedule because I love a routine. Although after COVID, routine's out the window. When you used to upload on particular days, I used to so look forward to them because I knew they'd be a little treat throughout the week. And low-key F 2020. Yeah, I think I'll go back to a schedule, whether or not I'll do that. More like full on F 2020. Yeah, so I think I will go back to a schedule. Whether or not I do that this year, because things have changed for me as well. So whereas like I said earlier about my being able to do like a booktube day on a Thursday, like some days I could, some of those days I could film 3 videos a day and I would have notes ready and things like that. I've got this book this is my Patreon book club book, but throughout here I sort of put a few ideas and stuff, and it's just got nothing in it. So yeah, I need to have a little sort out and things like that. But there's things that I'm really looking forward to. So if you've watched my lovely chat video recently, there's 2 things I'm really looking forward to. First thing is that I'm going to be doing the Couch to 5K app that I started earlier this year because I got diagnosed with diabetes. I completed it in April, I think, maybe early May. No, I think it was April. It was during lockdown anyway. And was so delighted and proud of myself to be in the position where I can run for 30 minutes. And then I've literally done no exercise since then. I've been out walking and things like that. I'm quite a walker. But I hadn't done that, and I was thinking about getting back into exercise. I mean, I'm not going to exercise now. No one. I don't really move when it's over 20 degrees. So, yeah, I didn't want to do that. But I thought, because I'd had such a good time doing that, and like a lot of you had said that you'd started it off the back of me doing that, or you'd seen me doing it. I thought, why not do it as a tribe? So, virtually, I'm going to be sort of setting run days every week. There's going to be a playlist on Spotify. There's going to be a hashtag. We're going to chat with each other. We're going to sort of say, oh yeah, this is how it went for me this week. Take photos, things like that, where you like what your route's like, etc, etc. So I'm really looking forward to that. That's going to start on the 1st of September. And we're going to try and stick to, and another thing is that you're supposed to do 3 runs a week, but I sort of did like 2 or 3 runs a week, 2 runs a week, 1 week, etc. So it's probably going to take longer than 9 weeks, but we'll keep going. We'll keep going. So I'm really looking forward to that, and that's something that, because I really enjoyed doing Couch to 5K, and I just love interacting with like you guys and stuff. So I feel like that would be really fun. And then something else I'm doing that I did last year is called Outfits October. So last year during October, I put 31 outfit prompts into a jar, because last year I really started my the end of my fast fashion my fast fashion life. I've always been very into clothes and styling clothes and things like that, and the amount I used to spend on clothes was obscene, really. And even more obscene than that is the sort of, I would almost allow myself to buy myself new clothes if I was wearing them more than once or twice, and I wasn't. So last year I said to myself, right, that's the end of that. Start buying second hand, or if you're buying new, buy new for a reason, or buy new because you're going to be wearing that for a long time, not like a £3 skirt from Primark that you wear once, and then once you wash it, it shrinks and you never wear it again, and it ends up being chucked and going to landfill. So last year I started buying a lot more second-hand stuff, like maintaining my clothes, mending them and things like that. And after I'd done like 9 months of that, I wanted to sort of celebrate that, and I did Outfits October, where I put 31 different outfit prompts into a jar, and they range from all sorts of things like David's choice, sparkly, stripes, polka dot, leopard print. There was Halloween, Christmas in October, and some other things in there. And I really enjoyed doing it, and I took a photo of my outfit every single day, put it on Instagram. Then the night before, you'd always see me picking out what the prompt was for the next day and getting myself ready, what I was going to wear, what did I think I was going to wear. I've never been more organised in terms of like having my clothes, like having your uniform laid out for you the night before. And I really enjoyed doing it because, like I said, I really like styling clothes. And yeah, so I'm going to be doing that again this year. So there'll be some returning prompts from last year, but some new ones. So the returning prompts will be interesting because it will be interesting to see how I style like, because I've basically got this, I'm still buying secondhand clothes, and I have been buying, the odd new thing, mainly from sustainable brands, like Lucy and Yak, or what's the other place, Joni clothing, which I don't know if that's sustainable, but like they're really well made clothes, and they're clothes that I can wear. Like I've got a t-shirt from there I bought last year actually that I've probably worn like almost 100 times and it still feels really good. So like I'm just really mindful of what new stuff I buy, that it's going to last me a long time, and that I'm going to be able to wear it with a lot of things. So yeah, so I'm really looking forward to doing that. So those are some things that I'm looking forward to, and then before we know it, Vlogmas will be here, so there'll be 24 videos going up in 1 month. So whoa. Love your videos, they always make me smile. Do you have any interest in reading Midnight Sun? Actually, I don't know if I do. I was never a big lover of the Twilight books. I watched the films because I had a friend at school and university who was really into Robert Pattinson, so I sort of watched the films then. But yeah, it was never really my bag. And I was only thinking about it today actually, because I was looking at my Libby app, where I've been sort of like browsing what's popular and things like that to put holds on. One of them was Midnight Sun, and I didn't bother. So I don't think I will read it. I don't feel that excited. In fact, I haven't even gone in like to is it Twilight but from Edward's perspective? Is that what it is? I don't feel that excited. One of my in a similar vein, I've got my the new Hunger Games book is available soon on the Libby app. So I've had that reservation's been on there for like 9 weeks or something. Oh hello, never heard of you until now. Hi. That's been on there till for about 9 weeks. So that's going to come in soon. So I'll be quite looking forward to reading that. Has anyone read the new Hunger Games book? How did you find it? Did you enjoy it? Hi Lauren, I love all your videos. Thank you. Thank you for loving them all. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to reading the new Hunger Games book. Twilight is from Ed's point of view. Also, it's 700 plus pages. Whoa! If it's not too early to ask, what do you think of Roger Ackroyd? I finished Roger Ackroyd today. I definitely enjoyed it more. So my Agatha Christie book is The Murder of Roger Ackroyd is an Agatha Christie book in the Poirot series. Last year I read my first Agatha Christie, which was And Then There Were None, which I absolutely loved. I thought it was brilliant. I read it and just was absolutely captivated by it. And then since then I've listened to the audiobook of The Body in the Library, which I think is a Marple book. So there's within like the Agatha Christie things. I mean, I'm telling you all this, I'm sure you all know. I've listened to Murder on the Orient Express, and I listened to a Christmas one, and all of them I gave 1 star because I was just not engaged at all and found it really hard. And I wondered if it was because I'd listened to them rather than read them. And I thought maybe because I'd read And Then There Were None and just thought it was fantastic. So I read The Murder of Roger Ackroyd and finished it today. And enjoyed it. I thought it was good. Didn't see the ending coming, which is exciting. I didn't love it. It was sort of like a 2.5 stars for me, but I definitely got more out of it than the listening to the audio of it. So yeah, that's how I feel about it. The Midnight Library by Matt Haig is a fantastic read. Looking forward to Couch to 5K and Outfits October. By the way, thank you for recommending using library apps. I've just started listening to audiobooks for free. I know, it's amazing, isn't it? My Audible credits are absolutely stacking up because I've been listening to audiobooks. I've just listened to, I tell you what, I've just listened to a good, if you follow me on Instagram, you would have seen that I've got a few, I do book reviews on there. I recently finished listening to Our Little Cruelties, I think it's called that, by Liz Nugent, which was a really good sort of like family saga thriller, which was a genre I didn't know existed and didn't know I needed. So yeah, I enjoyed that. But yeah, the Libby app is great for listening to audiobooks because, yeah, like I said, the Audible credits are stacking up. Loved Outfits October. Oh, I'm really pleased. I love The Murder of Ackroyd. Glad it was more than 1 star. It definitely was. Where are my glasses from? They're lovely. They're from Vision Express, but I don't know what brand they are. Doesn't say. I don't know. They're from Vision Express. Normally, when I've only ever got 2 sets of glasses from Vision Express, and both times I got them from the men's department because I've got quite a big face, and women's glasses are quite often small on the old face. How do I do thumbnails? I use Canva for thumbnails, if that helps. There's lots of different places you can do thumbnails. Have you read Death on the Nile by Agatha Christie? No, I haven't. Is that a Poirot or a Marport stuff? Because I begun to wonder if it was the fact that I loved And Then There Were None so much because it wasn't a series. It didn't have like it's a Poirot. I wondered if maybe the reason I'd loved And Then There Were None so much is because it wasn't a particular detective. So I liked the fact that there was no sort of focus and you were almost the investigator, And Then There Were None. Honestly, And Then There Were None is just such a good book. I really, really loved it. And I feel like maybe I've just gone in too big and just loved that the most. What times of the day do you read? How many hours a day on average? I don't read, so it differs. I always sort of make time when I'm at work to sit away from my desk for sort of 15 to 20 minutes and read. Sometimes that doesn't happen if I'm at work and the phone's ringing or someone's coming in, then it doesn't happen. But I always try and make time to do that. But I don't read for long stints of time. I'm very much a sort of a small reading person, like I said, at work, short reading. I always read before I go to bed. I read in the bath. What I used to do is when I used to get home from work, that's when I used to get sort of like longer stints because I'd read for about an hour before David got home. But now David's here, I'm sort of home and like, hi. So yeah, maybe I should instigate like a little, when I get home from work, having like a little 40-minute reading session. But yeah, I would say I'll probably read about an hour a day. But I listen to audiobooks as well. So I read physically for an hour a day, but I would say I listen to more audiobooks. Particularly now, if I'm working at home or if I'm in the office, because I'm not sharing the office with anybody anymore, I listen to an audiobook out loud. Like I can't listen to it constantly because I need to answer the phone and stuff. But if I'm doing something like computer based, I listen to audiobooks. So yeah, I'd say I'll probably listen to about 2 hours a day of an audiobook because I listen to it on the drive home as well. And I read for about an hour a day. That's that. I love your videos. Always calm my anxiety. Keep it up. Love from Bulgaria. Oh, lovely. Some fantastic standalones of Crooked House or Endless Night. She's writing them down. Crooked House, Endless Night. I'll be getting straight on Libby after this. I like Crooked House, another Agatha Christie standalone. I love Secret Adversary. That one's going down as well, by Agatha Christie. Hoopla is a great library app. You can have 10 books to borrow per month and you don't have to wait. They're all available right away and have movies. Wow, I've never even heard of that. Somebody's written something in, I think that's Spanish. I don't know Spanish. Our Little Cruelty sounds a bit like The Lost Man by Jane Harper. Oh yeah, and Secret Adversary is very proto-feminist for a book from the 20s. Very interesting. Love your book content and enjoy your bookish suggestions. Recently I bought 2 of your other recommendations. The Ordinary Hyaluronic Acid. I really struggle to say hyaluronic. Hyaluronic Acid and the NYX Epic Eyeliner. Both are amazing, so thank you. They both are amazing products. So hyaluronic acid, my skin, I mean, at the moment it's not great because I know I've got a spot here and I know I've got dinosaur eyes, but hyaluronic acid, my skin has never been better since the old hyaluronic acid, and that eyeliner is unbudgeable. I haven't had it on for a while because I've had swollen eyes for a while, but it's unbudgeable. Evening, Layla, bit late in the chat, still nice to hear from you. Good day, hello from Peru, what a lovely video, thank you for sharing it, the translation, thank you. Good video, my friend, says this person from Peru. Hello. So yeah, I think that might be it. The ITV adaptation of Agatha Christie novels are also very nice. I actually like them better than the books, which never happens. Yeah, there was the, I don't know if it was ITV. I think it was BBC, but they did the ABC murders. Do you remember? And that had oh dear. That had Ron Weasley in it, didn't it? Do you remember? My eyes have been streaming all day. I hate summer. Yeah. So I also saw that the pollen count has been like so high. So I think that's been. I think my eyes started with, I got a bit of suntan lotion in one of them, which made me irritate it all day, which made me like touch it all day. But I think since then the pollen count has just been madness. Where is your favourite place to buy books? So I've got a few favourite bookshops in London, one of which being Foyles, which is like the main sort of it looks like a chain bookshop, but it's not. It's still an independent bookshop. I also love Gaze the Word, which is by King's Cross, which sells books from LGBTQ plus authors, and it's the bookshop that features in one of my favourite films, Pride, and they actually filmed there, which I really, really love. Online, I try to buy my books from Waterstones or second hand, but I am aware that Waterstones has now been bought by Amazon, so what do? But yeah, I get emails from Waterstones. They tempt me. So most recently, they sent me an email saying, "Oh, hi, here's all the new Bernardine Evaristo book covers. Do you want these?" And I was like, "Well, yes, obviously I do." So I went and bought those instantly. So yeah, danger time. But yeah, but my favourite place to buy books is independent bookshops, and just having a lovely browse and just having a lovely time. So yeah. I go on Instagram when you were live, but it does not show up. What am I doing wrong? Have you got an updated Instagram that involves the stories at the top? Because it should just appear at the top. I don't know. Do I have any favourite Depop shops? I don't. I've got a few people like saved when I've bought stuff from them and see that they sell things in my size. I tend to follow people from that, but I don't have particularly favourite shops that I've bought. Seems to be a surprising amount of spam in the chat. Yeah, I think I've sorted the amount of spam in the chat. How do you keep your book collection in a reasonable size? Do you keep all the books you buy or get after them? No, lovely question. What I do is these books on these shelves behind me are like all of these shelves you can see, the coloured shelves are mainly unread. There'll be a few in there that are read, but they're mainly unread. Now the books at the top you can't see here, but these are my favourites. So any books that I've given 5 stars or have appeared in my best books of the year. Yeah, David's making dinner now. It's fine. It's not ready yet. They'll go up there, and then my cloth bound classics are also there as well. So once I've read a book, if it gets 5 stars, it goes on the shelf, or if it gets 4 stars and I think I'm going to really like that, it goes on there as well. But the rest of the books go to friends or family, particularly if I've read a book and I've enjoyed it, or I might finish a book and think, oh, Laura would really like that, so I'll lend it on to Laura. So a lot of my books sort of get lent out. I also have a few places that I take books to. So like I said, I work in the diabetes centre, and they've got well, at the moment they haven't because of COVID, but like they've got a bookshelf on there where people can buy paperbacks, and then the 50p that you buy goes to Diabetes UK. My sister works as a teacher in a secondary school, and I give her any sort of YA books that can then go into her little library in her classroom, which is lovely, and she says like the kids absolutely love it, and they love borrowing those books and reading them, and they all get really excited when Charlotte brings in like a box of books. I give them to friends and family, things like that. So yeah, charity shops, things. That's how I keep on top of it. But no, I don't keep all the books that I buy or get, and every so often I'll have like a cull. I've filmed a few videos as well where I've like given books to you guys, or put them out for collection. I remember going down to the beach near where I live, and putting like books out with like little notes on and stuff, and says like, oh, if you like this book, then let me know on Instagram and stuff like that, which was really fun. So yeah, I might do that again. Gaze the Word is lovely. Did a wee bookshop crawl last time I was in London. That was one of the priorities. It should absolutely be a priority. It's lovely. Linda's worried about my dinner, but don't worry, David's making it. I can see the vanishing half at the top. I'm reading the Mothers at the moment. I can actually see, so like I've got my computer screen here, and you can see like on this where I'm looking, where I'm filming, you can't really see many, but yeah, you can see the vanishing half is such a beautiful cover, isn't it? You said dinners tonight entails Mediterranean veg and whipped what? Whipped feta, apparently, with flatbreads. I think it's going to be really lovely. I'm excited. What day do you do your Patreon book club? Planning to read Silver Sparrow and would love to join in. It's always the last Sunday of the month at 7 p.m. BST. So yeah, if you want to join in, then it's always the last Sunday of the month at 7 p.m. BST. So I don't know if that works for you guys where you are, and time zones and stuff. And actually we've already, this very rarely happens with Patreon Book Club, but we've already decided the book for September as well. So we're going to be reading The Bass Rock by Evie Wilde in September. So the reason that happened is that the books up for August's vote were Silver Sparrow and The Bass Rock, and it was so close, and a lot of people, and The Bass Rock won, but people in the US were unable to get their hands on The Bass Rock because it's not out until September. So I was like, Oh, well, why don't we do, because it was so close, we'll do Silver Sparrow in August and we'll do The Bass Rock in September. So, yeah, if you're interested in either of those books, they're what we're going to be reading in August and September. My God, my dinner smells amazing. And then in October, the genre, so you guys will get to vote for the book in October. The genre is gothic crime type things. I've got one book in mind. I need to find another one as well. So yeah. What's your favourite summertime beverage? I've been drinking a lot of caffeine-free Diet Coke. A lot. Also, I always worry that people are going to think that I'm using disposable straws. I'm not. This is a straw that I use all the time. This doesn't go in the bin. This is a reusable straw. That is a very good system, thanks. Oh, Jenny's excited because she's caught alive. It's a very good system, thanks. I'm struggling a bit with book hoarding situation. I need you to come and help me cull my shelves again. Yeah, I helped Simon cull his shelves and I was cutthroat, wasn't I, Simon? I was like, no, you don't need that. No, you don't need that. So yeah. Have you read any books by Louise Harwood? I have not. Hi Lauren, Santa missed the start of the party. Don't worry, you can go back and watch it from the beginning if you want once it's over. Oh my goodness, don't tempt me to join any more Patreons, I can't afford it. Oh yeah, obviously I should have done a disclosure like, only join like Patreon if you could afford it, if you like have the money going spare. Obviously I'm eternally grateful for anyone who wants to support me in a monetary way by supporting me on Patreon. I think it's like fantastic, and I actually have to sort of pinch myself that people are happy to do that. There are 3 tiers. The first tier is the $1 tier where you get access to a special secret Patreon Instagram for $1 a month, and there's like photos and stuff going on. It's quite chatty over there because there's not loads of people, so I can be like, what have you been up to? We can have a little chat. The $5 tier is the book club tier, so you get the access to the Instagram and the book club. And then there's a $10 tier where you get the book club, the Instagram, and you can email me at any time for a sort of like bookish chat and individual bookish recommendations, which is nice as well. I want to read The Bass Rock. Love The Bass Rock. Just wanted to say congratulations for reaching 14,000. You're such a worthy YouTuber to reach that milestone. Such a great channel. Thank you so much. It is easier to cull for some... Is that my dinner ready, David?
No, not quite.
Oh.
Do you want chopped parsley?
No, I don't want parsley. Parsley's horrible. It's easier to cull for someone else than to go through your own things. At least it is for me. Alison says, I think you deserve more than 14,000, which is brilliant, of course, but honestly, you should be on 50,000 at least. We'll get there one day, won't we? We're getting there. If it's 5 months to get me 1,000, how far am I away from 36,000 times 5. It's a lot, isn't it? We're talking... Oh, there's a moth coming in here. Go away! Moth coming in. Speaking of straws, will you be making a follow-up video on your plastic consumption? Just rewatch your first video on plastic use the other day. That is on the list of things I need to make a video about. I read an amazing book about it. That book needs rereading. Maybe I'll reread that book and then make the rest of that series, because that was a really great series to start, and I was really pumped for it, and then it just never happened. Your great attitude always keeps me cheer up. Thank you. Oh, thank you. I think having a supportive friend to give you more objective view helps when you're sorting and putting things in for donation or sale. Absolutely. Can I recommend you a book, Lauren? This is Happiness by Niall Williams. It's about a tiny Irish village. You've already got me. I'm writing it down before I've even the rest of it. In the 1950s, getting electricity installed. Very slow pace and beautifully written. That sounds lovely. Also, I saw today Marion Keyes had shared that she'd read Graham Norton's new book. Who's it by? Niall Williams. Graham Norton's new book, which is about being gay in Ireland in the 50s. And it's supposed to be amazing. Now, you may well remember, but not last year, the year before, Graham Norton's book, The Keeper, was one of my favourite books of the year. I listened to the audiobook of it, and I found it, I just loved it. It's so, so good. So I'm so excited about his new book. Graham Norton is a TV host here in the UK. He's Irish, but he's very, very, very talented TV host, very good at his job. And I really enjoyed watching him. And I read his book a couple of years ago when it first came out. He's got 2 books out. This will be his 3rd book, his new one. I can't think what it's called. It's got a car on the front. I don't know what it's called. But yeah, I desperately want it. I need to get onto the publisher about it, really, because I'd like it now rather than having to wait. You'll definitely get there, Lauren, says Alison. Thank you. It's about 50,000. Congrats. Well, I'm sure there's 14,000 of you now. If you all went and said to one person, well, there's not 14,000 of you, there's 122 of you. So maybe it wouldn't work like that. Home stretch, patiently hoping and waiting for G is for girl power, wink wink for G in the alphabet series. Have you read A Prayer for Owen Meany? No, I haven't. And somebody else recommended, I'm writing all these lovely books down. And somebody else recommended that to me. God, it smells so garlicky here. For Owen Meany. I don't know what we're going to watch tonight. We've been watching Suits, which I sort of feel like it's fine. I'm not loving it. We're into the 3rd series now, but quite a lot of the time I'm watching. So Suits is like, it's an American drama series that you might be familiar with because Meghan Markle was in it before she quit that job of acting to become to marry Prince Harry. So she's in it. She's the main character in it, and it's about lawyers. And like, I like it. I don't love it. But it's fine. But like quite a lot of the time I'm watching it, I'm thinking I don't really know what's going on, and then at the end it's all explained. But like because there's 9 series, by the way, and they've all got like upwards of 16 episodes in. So we're on series 3 now. So there's a lot, like over 150 episodes to get through. So it's a lot to watch. But yeah, I don't know how I feel about it. And David, I think I might say to David, just carry on without me. But yeah. But I wanted to watch a good film or something tonight, but we watched Knives Out last week, and have you managed to miss everything? Yeah. Sorry, Katie. I'm actually like wrapping up now. David's just about to serve me dinner. Oh, not quite yet. So we're still going. 8 minutes. This might even be 2 hours, guys. Imagine who's been here since the beginning, listening to this go on for 2 hours. Sorry, but. Yeah, so we watched Knives Out last week during the week, and I thought it was fantastic. It's one of the best films I've ever watched. Really, really thought it was brilliant. Yeah, and I feel like in a similar way, sometimes you get they call it a book hangover, don't they? When you read a really, really, really good book, and then any books you read after that, you're like, well, that's a tough act to follow. I keep seeing Selling Sunset, and I keep seeing you talk about it, Simon, and I keep hearing it's very good. Yeah, so watch Knives Out. Thought it was absolutely fantastic. I've just seen someone saying Cappuccino Craft says I want to watch Knives Out this weekend, maybe tonight. Do watch it. It's so good. I loved it. I just thought it was so well acted, and everything, like all the scenes look really cool, and I just really loved it. And I really have struggled to find anything like I don't know. Like what would you follow that up with if you really enjoyed it so much? What would you follow that up with? So yeah, I don't know what we're going to watch. The Sky Movies thing was Jumanji Next Level, which we've already watched. I rented that out for David. We were going to watch The Gentleman, but you can't rent that. You can only buy it, which is a bit annoying. You've got to watch the Eurovision film. It's so good. We have watched it. It was brilliant. We saw Knives Out in the cinema. I remember those days. I loved it. Yeah, David keeps wanting to go to the cinema. Still here, but might need a wee sit. You all right, David?
Yeah.
I never think of British people watching American TV series. As an American, I've watched loads of British television, so it makes sense. I just think of your series as more entertaining. Well, that's nice to hear. What British TV series have you watched and found entertaining? If you haven't watched the Eurovision film on Netflix, I urge everyone to watch it. It's such a joy. Have you seen 1917? Very emotional and beautiful film. I haven't seen it, but David has. Do you want to watch a film tonight, David, with our whipped feta and Mediterranean vegetables and flatbreads? But what though?
Well, that's the problem, is it? Because
we spend so long sort of like, what are we going to watch? What are we going to watch?
Yeah, she said, because we have seen Jumanji already, haven't we?
Yeah. Oh my God. So we don't, sorry, I don't know if this is allowed for me to talk about that. Basically, our Sky Go log-on is, one of my friends works for Sky, and she gets a number of log-ons, and she gave us one of her log-ons. So we don't have our own, like you'd have your own Amazon Prime or Netflix account. We've got someone else's log-on for that. It's a gifted one, and the Sky movies that go on every week, like the last couple of weeks, like I mean, you go months where you just see loads of crap that you never even want to watch, and then the only things I've watched on there that I thought were really good: Downton Abbey, the Spider-Man. I liked Into the Spider-Verse. That was good.
That was cool, wasn't it?
But everything else,
yeah, I've
got no interest in watching Joker.
Still, I've watched nowhere near compared to how much I've watched on like Netflix and considering how many movies are actually on there.
Yeah,
I've watched very little.
I don't know. I just want Rebecca to be out. That's not out until October, is it? Simon said to me that we should do a watching party. You should do a TBR jar for movies. Write down all the ones you can think of, and then I want to watch something like Knives Out again.
I mean, we could watch Clue.
Yeah.
No, you're not up for that. That's the thing with us. We're not instantly like, yeah, let's watch it. Maybe. That's always a no.
Simon says Joker was way better than he expected. It just...
Yeah, I loved the Joker, but I don't think Lauren would enjoy it quite as... But then again, you love The Dark Knight.
I don't know if, like, now if I watched it now, I don't know if I'd be like...
I definitely, it's not a sitting... I don't know, yeah, it's probably not like something to watch with dinner. We've got to give it our full concentration on the Joker.
Yeah.
I would like to watch it again because it's been ages since I've seen it.
I'm not that bothered about it. People saying Joker's great, but it's a slow burn. We are doing a Rebecca watch party. So when Rebecca comes out on Netflix in October, I don't think there's a date for it yet, Simon. But yeah, we should do a watch along party. So we'll watch it and then maybe we could do like a live afterwards and talk about it. Hope it's good. I imagine it will be. Joker was amazing, actually sad and wasn't expected to be. Or Murder by Death, is that available anywhere? It's from the 70s.
See if there's a full-length version of Suits.
I've just been telling my mates about Suits.
And how you've fallen out of love with it.
What's on here?
You don't want to watch the Peanut Butter Falcon, even though I desperately do.
No, well, I don't know. The thing is that I don't fancy that tonight. What we were doing with our friends, we were doing. Oh, it's the 21st of October for thank you, Ribena Faces, for Rebecca. What we were doing with our friends on a Saturday night, which was lovely. Hello, Minnie. We were suggesting a film and then watching the film and then discussing it afterwards. And because we did it so there's 6 of us, and we did it for 6 weeks, twice in a row. So for 12 weeks. We watched loads of different films, and it was good because you were just one person telling people what to watch, and we watched all sorts of different things, and it was really good to sort of like watch films that we wouldn't ordinarily see. So very, very exciting.
Well, do you want something we've already seen before? Something that's like Hot Fuzz?
No, I don't know if I do.
Okay, well,
I want to watch something exactly like Knives Out.
Oh God, I don't think you're gonna find anything like that. Clue is the only thing I can think of. And you don't want to watch
David,
Clue.
that dinner smells so good.
Yeah, it does. It smells a bit like some of the veg that we had from Mem's Meze last night.
Yeah, it does.
That's what it smells like. It smells like delicious.
No, I'm sorry.
Well, I mean, we're probably not going to find anything then, are we?
No, don't say that.
Well, I mean, you only want to watch something that's like Knives Out. The only thing that's like Knives Out is Clue.
Well, let's watch Clue then.
All right. I've done enough of it.
See, this is the thing. It's so hard to please, isn't it?
Because I have seen Clue.
Oh, there's a new Secret Garden film coming out. I used to have that on video. The original, the BBC make from the 90s. I used to watch that all the time. There's a film about a woman who has to survive her wedding night with her psycho family. What's that called? I haven't watched anything in so long. I swapped TV in the evening for sewing and have been looking at using up all my Audible credits. Just watched Knives Out again, yeah. Sex Education is so funny. My sister's been watching Sex Education. She's been really enjoying it. These aren't films. What's the Official Secrets? Is that good?
No, that looks like
So we've watched.
serious.
So the most recent Amazon Prime things. We've watched How to Build a Girl. We've watched Knives Out. We saw Game Night at the cinema. We've watched Ocean's 8. We've watched Late Night. We've watched Dating Amber. You've seen Ready Player One. We've watched Booksmart. We've watched Troop Zero. We watched Blinded by the Light last night. God, there's not much going on, is there? What about the Jane Austen Book Club?
No, definitely not. Thank you.
Ready or Not?
What about the movie version of What We Do in the Shadows?
Yeah?
No, you're not up for that.
I don't know! It's so hard.
Boy. That's directed by Taika Waititi. Oh, Wedding Singer. I love The Wedding Singer.
I've never seen Wedding Singer.
Yeah, we have. I've made you watch it.
Oh, it obviously didn't make that much of an impression.
This must be fun for everyone.
Yeah.
Just flicking through
Just
this.
watching us maybe think about what to... Right, people are saying Ready or Not's very good. What's Ready or Not on Netflix? Oh, Wild Rose! I've wanted to watch that for ages. You don't want to watch it. Animals?
No. What is Animals?
It's about 2 girls living... I read the book of it earlier this year. No. Practical Magic! I've wanted to watch Practical Magic for ages.
I don't want to watch Practical
I think you'll like it. It's like 90s rom-com.
Who else is in it?
Nicole Kidman and Sandra Bullock.
I mean, I suppose so.
No, don't force yourself. We've watched that murder mystery movie on Netflix with Adam Sandler and Jennifer Aniston. We watched that, thought it was going to be naff, and it was really good. Practical Magic is on Amazon Prime, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to watch that?
I'm not feeling it, if I'm honest.
Okay, well then let's not watch that then.
Did you just roll your eyes at the...
No.
Yeah, I bet you did.
Oh my goodness, Practical Magic, is that on Amazon Prime? Practical Magic is fun. This is what people are saying about Practical Magic.
Yeah, but what's fun that I want to watch that you don't? I can't remember now.
We can watch Hamilton again.
Nah, that's a big old commitment, isn't it?
Yeah, but I'm always happy to commit to it.
No, I don't want to watch Hamilton tonight.
Alexander Hamilton. Don't watch it if you don't want to watch it. You tried to make me watch Tag, and I think it's just a bit silly.
It is a bit silly, but like Game Night was silly, and you enjoyed that.
Have I ever watched Galaxy Quest? I haven't. David, have you watched Galaxy Quest?
Yes, I've seen Galaxy.
Oh, your
Quest.
dad's just texted saying I've just watched Knives Out. It was okay.
Oh dear.
He doesn't know, does he?
He doesn't know.
Little Fires Everywhere. Is that a series or a film?
That's a series.
So hard, isn't it? Is my dinner burning, David?
No, it's charring.
Is it charring a bit much?
No, it's charring.
It smells like it's charring a bit much.
Okay, would you like to do it?
No, I'm on this. It's frustrating to watch, isn't it? So imagine if we're like, if you're us. Somebody's just said Palm Springs was very good, but I don't know if it's available here. Ah oui oui mon ami. I've watched a few episodes of Killing Eve, but I've never finished it.
I don't know, should we just watch the Suits? These are the new ones. Oh, there is a new film on Disney Plus called Magic Camp. It's got Adam, what's his face, who you really like from Modern Family.
Adam Devine?
Yeah.
You're selling it to me! So, Simon says that Chris and him are like this every fucking night.
Yeah.
This.
It's so
He's
hard.
It's so hard, isn't
I
it?
think we
It's
should
so
do
much.
that. We should just write 10 films each we want to watch in a jar and pick them out, and then we have to watch them. Oh.
Oh, the charring's done.
No, it's not. It's still not charged yet. My arms are going in now. I have to stop.
Maybe we'll watch that. God, it's just so much, isn't it?
Or we could watch a movie-length version of Disney Lumps.
No. The Game with Michael Douglas. A lot of people saying I like Little Fires Everywhere, but if that's a series, we can't commit to another series at the moment, can we?
Let's show you. Where's me?
I can't watch a track.
That's Magic Camp. There he is.
He looks really annoying in it, though, doesn't he?
Yeah, well,
I just feel annoyed just by
I
that.
think he's like.
I feel annoyed just by that picture.
Right. Okay.
Oh God, I've just seen a picture of him holding some fucking cards.
What about this one? And he's got the woman from Loving as well.
I don't watch Love, so I don't know. That eyebrow in there's very you.
David Wood
Yeah,
from 2008 to
2018.
2012.
Be careful your willy doesn't fall out in those shorts, David.
No, I've got boxes on underneath. Oh, I don't know. Should we just sit in silence?
I don't know either.
High School Musical?
No.
Or should we just watch something that we like? Like Moana?
No.
You don't fancy that, do you?
I wanted to watch something new.
Well, I think we've left it a bit too late to watch something new because we'd spend ages looking. I'll tell you what, tomorrow we'll write down 10 films, each we'll pop them in a jar for times like
And then the
this.
first time we pull one out, you'll go, I don't really fancy
it'll be
Devil
a case
Wears
of
Prada.
that,
Can we watch Devil Wears Prada?
Yeah, if it's on an available source.
We've seen Coco, it's very good.
But I bet it's not though. The one film.
I love Devil Wears Prada.
Yeah, you do always say that I would like it. No.
Oh!
So you're able to rent.
I used to have that on DVD. You made me chuck all my DVDs away.
I didn't make you.
I will watch Ozark at some point. Well, let's just watch some Suits then.
No, let's not, because you're not up for it. I think you've fallen out of love with Suits.
What about what's the one where it's set in bookshops? You've Got Mail. Can we watch that?
No.
You've Got Mail. I've never seen that, but it was a trailer on one of my friends' videos when I was younger, and I always used to think, I bet that's really good.
What a first world problems, eh?
Emperor's New Groove. David only just recently watched like all of the Disney and all of the Pixar on there, so it's.
I mean, I would always watch another Disney, but I don't.
The Intern feels a bit like. Oh, we've watched The Intern, haven't we? Yeah, we've seen that. You've Got Mail is one of my favourite films. Being said here. What's on iPlayer? That might narrow it down.
Oh, hello.
Sometimes you go on iPlayer, BBC iPlayer, they have films on there, and because there's only like 9 on there, you find a good one. That's how we first watched Pride, isn't it?
You can only have about 3 people watching now.
No, there's still 125.
Come on, guys.
What's French Kiss? People keep saying French Kiss. Oh, it's an oldie. Oh, well, he won't let me watch that if he wouldn't even let me watch. He wouldn't even let me watch You've Got Mail. Taboo. Watched that on iPlayer recently. I'm just going over to get the thing. Canada. We're already on Canada's Drag Race, Simon. We're loving it. We're really enjoying it. If you want to watch a series, Harlots, keep seeing Harlots.
Right,
I think I'll have Devil Wears Prada on DVD. I'll bring it in for you, Laura. Thanks, Joe. 125, but we've all nodded off. Yeah, I know. Dave with Kevin Kline. French Kiss is my favourite.
What we got? We got Apocalypse Now.
No.
The Shining.
No.
The Revenant.
No.
Interview with the Vampire.
No.
Poltergeist.
No.
Behind the Candelabra.
The Candelabra.
Yeah. Dangerous Liaison. Saving Mr. Banks. What We Did on Our Holiday.
No.
Spike Island. More Than Cooler.
None of these are
In the
doing
Dark.
anything for me.
Short Term 12. Just Jim. I do like that guy. Maps to the Stars. The BFG. So the answer is no.
Oh well.
That's Mazes films.
That was worth it. We've watched Yesterday. We've watched Big. Oh God, we're horrible. Do you know what? Shall I just put everyone out of their misery?
I think so.
Chris is home. He sends his love, but tells me I have to get off my phone and pay him attention. Love to you, Simon, and love to Chris. Here's some attention for Chris. How about This Is Where I Leave You with Jason Bateman? I have seen that a few times. Like, I've seen the trailer of that. I read.
What about that Tomb Raider? The newer Tomb Raider.
No. Everyone's saying we're not allowed to go until they know what we pick.
I don't know. What about something we know?
Can I have that? You took that off of me.
Because I mean, I want to eat dinner in a minute.
Yeah, we'll just get dinner ready then. Then we'll go.
But we're not. We haven't got a film. What about Wolf of Wall Street?
Not really.
Okay.
Oh, we could. I tell you what, we borrowed A Beautiful Day in the Neighbourhood. I don't know if I want to watch that though. Someone just suggested Knives Out. We watched Black Panther not long ago. I do love Black Panther.
Chef.
No.
Bridesmaids.
No.
Die Hard. Sing Street.
Oh, is Community a film? Because people keep asking me about.
No, it's a series.
6 bloody series. Project Power. Was that no good then, David?
No, I wasn't really up for it earlier. I will watch it. Try it again.
God, imagine if people have tuned in now and they're just watching me and David just bloody.
Hercules in New York.
Still 117 people.
The Lincoln Lawyer.
What about this Work It? Or did we decide against
Yeah,
it? How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days? I bet that's awful now.
I bet that is awful, but I do like Matthew McConaughey. The Kissing Booth.
I
That's
keep
my
hearing quite
three
good things
films.
about The Kissing Booth.
Should we watch that?
When
Because otherwise...
Harry Met Sally?
Yeah, go on then, let's watch that.
We got there! We got there! When Harry Met Sally.
It's supposed to be very good. Yeah,
We're going to watch it. Oh my God, exhausting, wasn't it? Right, okay, we're going to watch When Harry Met Sally. I feel knackered. Right, I'm pressing play, but I'm pausing it. Oh my God, that was absolutely exhausting, wasn't it? Right. David says he's sweltering. Right. Thank you so much for being here. This has gone on for over 2 hours. And yeah, I'm aware the last sort of half hour was just us looking at fan. Don't know what I want. But yeah, this was lovely. Hopefully it won't be too long until the next live show, because I do really love doing these and it's so nice to have a chat with you all. But yeah, thank you for everyone who sent in a question. Thank you for anyone who watched today. Thanks if you're watching. Imagine if you've sat through this.
Bye everyone.
Bye everyone, says David. Imagine if you sat through this just watching it. But yeah, let's go and eat that whipped feta and let's go and watch When Harry Met Sally.